Go back in time, Alex, where that pretty good couplet was, and I don't see anything that's really standing out to you on there.
That's really noisy.
Yeah, it's very noisy. So here's Blossom. So what we would look for is like a dropout, blue colors all together. We don't really see that, and that's where it might be picking something up. You just see a little bit here just outside of the Blossom area, but we don't know if that's actually a debris signature per se. So we'll take it back to, let's go to shear path, because you can also see with the shear path where this has been moving to. You keep moving that map farther west, Alex. All right, hold on one second. We're getting another warning here. What is that for?
I'm looking at it right now. It's a new tornado warning for Greene County, Washington County. This goes until 10:30 this evening. And what you just heard is the emergency alert that goes off on your phone.
All right, let's go back, Alex, and let me give the radar. Let's go back to regular radar. Let's pan this out now. And this is what we're concerned about. Widen this out even farther. This is a tornado warning, folks. You need to seek shelter immediately if the storm is approaching your area. This is all being warned on because this complex of storms right here, it is going to move right south of Kingsport, coming right towards, what is that, Sullivan County, Hawkins County, possibly northern Washington County. Just keep it in one spot if you would, Alex. Just trying to get our bearings straight here. And this warning, let's click on the new tornado warning. How long is that in effect till? And that's in effect until
10:30 this evening.
All right, what I want you to do, Alex, take the warnings off. We're going to talk to our viewers at home. If you are anywhere now, without moving that map, Alex, from Seguinsville, Churchill, Kingsport, Tri-City Airport, if you're anywhere in this area right in through here, you want to seek shelter immediately. These are moving at 25 miles per hour. Could easily put down a tornado. So now is the time to seek shelter immediately. This is for this storm right here. Look at this. It's coming right through Hawkins County. And that's going to make its way right into Sullivan County here. And if, Alex, if you'll move the map just a little bit so we can see Washington County outlined in here as well. All right, right there you go. This is that tornado warning storm. Very, very good couplet. This most likely could be producing a tornado. So if you would, Alex, let's circle the couplet. And again, we're on the air here because this tornado warning storm, there's the couplet. Now, what I want to do is change over to our coefficient correlation to see if we have any debris being lofted. If this actually works, you want to keep that circle on there, Alex. This is your circle right here. And now let's change over to CC here real quickly and see. Yep. So you see that right there, Alex?
Yep.
I would not be surprised if we have a tornado on the ground. Some location here, because it's dropping out a little bit here. This, again, if you go back to radar, let's get some towns on here, because this is where we most likely would see that tornado. And again, it's over Hawkins County, southeast of Seguinsville. Let's zoom in, Alex, if we can, and show the towns here. Keep that in mind. We want to show this right here. Keep zooming in until we get some towns on the map here. And again, this is the couplet area, Alex. This is where we want to look at. You may have to add some cities on here, towns, because this, see the lightning ramping up here? That's a good indication. We also are seeing a possibility of a tornado. Yes, you can see that. Look at this appendage hanging down right there. Blair Gap, also Conklin Town, and Glen Alpine. You're seeing the hail here coming your way, Poplar Grove. And look here. This is Interstate 81. This is 26. Look how close it's getting to that destination. It's going to continue to make its way into areas of Sullivan County, possibly coming over northern Washington County. Here's a line right here as we go into Sullivan County. This is Interstate 81. Here is your signature, Blair Gap. So let's go ahead and look back at reflectivity. We've seen that. Let's go to velocity now. Storm relative. There it is. Look how fast it's moving.
It's actually strengthening a little bit.
Yeah, this is worrisome. This is just north of Fall Branch. And if we can, Alex, let's push the map north a bit. This is that whole warned storm right here. You go. This is the Washington County line. Fall Branch right here, just north of Fall Branch. If you're living in Poplar Grove, Double Springs, you got to be looking out for this storm. You need to seek shelter immediately. Hallway, closet, lowest level of your house, in a basement. Some people put a helmet on. Don't bother opening the windows. You don't have time for that. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. You can see that couplet right here. Alex, go ahead and circle the couplet. Then we'll go back to the CC right here. And let's query the winds real quick in there before you do that. How high is that bright green right there?
Give me
and we look at this bright green banding, because look at that, 87, and then this is a minimal tornado right now, and it could be on the ground. We don't have confirmation. We're not getting confirmation yet, but we're looking here, and this is the rotation we're looking at here. So circle that again. That's the rotation. I'd probably circle a little bit bigger because it's moving fast. Now let's look at the CC and see if, in fact, we have any debris being lofted. And if we do,
That's concerning, Mark.
yeah, if you back it up a second, keep the circle in there. Let's back it up about 5-10 minutes and see if you see that, because it's been moving. Yeah, it's hard to see. There's so much noise in here. But again, if we do have a tornado, it's moving kind of northeast, right, Alex?
Yep.
And again, let's take this, give this current to radar real quick. And we're looking here at Sullivan County. This is it over the border of Hawkins County now? I'm trying to get her a little close in. So let's zoom out so we can see Sullivan County. Here's Kingsport right here. This is going to be just south of Kingsport, over the Conklin area right now, and then it's going to make its way into southern suburbs of Kingsport, right up I-26 here. Rock Springs, be on the lookout for that as well. Right in this area, you can see that couplet still hanging down, little appendage. We're going to look now, Alex, at the storm relative again. It's not as well defined. There is that circulation. If we still see that, you can still see some of the bright banding there northwest of Double Springs. Again, this is a tornado warning, Hawkins County, and pretty much through what, Washington County? Is that what it is now?
Yes, it goes down into Washington County.
Sullivan,
as well.
Washington, and Hawkins County, Greene County, they've issued a tornado warning here for this entire region. And let's look at Greenville. We've kind of left Greenville out here, but if we put the reflectivity, keep it wide so we can keep an eye on that storm, Alex. We've got all this going on right here. So they pretty much most likely issued that for northeastern Greene County, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll go ahead
You
and
can
put
see
the
that.
warning
Look at
back
that
on.
appendage right there. Let's zoom back in there. This is quite concerning again. Let's push this back to the southwest. Here is Kingsport. You're looking here at, let's keep a map in one spot, Alex. Kind of hard to point out. Kingsport right here. You're looking right down I-26, and this is your 2681. If you circle that area, right here is Interstate 81 and 26 that we're looking at. Right there is a center point. That's the two interstates coming together. You can see where this appendage is coming into Conklin Town right now. If we zoom in a little bit closer, we may be able to see some of the roads here and take your circle off. Let's look at the road system real quick, some of the roads, and see where that storm relative is again. Here you go. Glen Alps, a good hail core right there
Yes.
over you folks
Excellent.
as well. And let's look at Conklin Town right here. Hail often associated with tornado activity and a ramp up in lightning. We've certainly seen that. This is a little concerning here too, Alex, but real quick, let's look at the storm relative on here and see where we see that possibility. It's not as well defined as it has been. So that's good news. It may be weakening here, but now let's switch over and show the hail in Glen Alpine and see what that hail core looks like. Not showing up too well there. Most of our hail's been back here as well. So that's another bit of good news. We continue to watch that, and you can see the reflectivity as we show you this radar again. Here it is. If you're going to see anything at all, maybe seeing some hail, not showing up yet in Glen Alpine, and also there's that little appendage coming down into Horse Creek. And again, you're looking at Interstate 81 right here, Kinchlow Mill right there, Double Springs, and then you head to Fordtown and right over the border here into Sullivan County as we're looking at quite an extensive area of rain. I think we may have a camera here. I don't know if we have the Bays Mountain camera, but if you guys do, if we could pop up a camera, you most likely will be seeing some of the lightning in association with these as well. As we're taking our sky cam here, and while we do that, Alex, you may be able to pick up the Buffalo camera. We're looking there at North Johnson City. You're seeing the lightning here. We're looking from State of Franklin, from the Bank of Tennessee there on State of Franklin. I don't know if you have a Buffalo Mountain camera on there on your system, Alex. Right here, we got the Buffalo Mountain camera. Switch over to Alex real quick, if you guys would. Switch over to our system, guys. Our weather computer. Can you do that? There you go. Look at this incredible view. This is a look as we're looking down from Buffalo towards Kingsport. Again, you could almost see when that lightning comes up. You see the dark sky right here, Alex. This is what I'm worried about. You could see something hanging down here. Not saying that's a tornado, but it gives us a good representation. Look at this. Just amazing how that dark cloud is showing up very well there on this particular image. And that's,
we are
again, looking down from
towards
Buffalo
that
Mountain.
area.
What's that? Okay, yeah, we got Buffalo Mountain right here, guys. Let's switch over. Can you click on the bays and let's see where that camera takes us to.
So that's
incredible
North
light.
Johnson
Look at this, guys.
City.
All right, keep that right there. If you look there real closely, you're seeing something hanging down right here, guys. I do want to point this out. Watch when the lightning comes up. There's something hanging right down through here. That's our concern. That's why we have the tornado warning. These things could put out a quick spin up of a tornado very, very quickly. They're moving at about 25 miles per hour. So this is a look from the Bank of Tennessee. You're looking at North Johnson City right in through here. A little bit of some appendage hanging down from the cloud there. It's nighttime. If you're under the warning, this is for Hawkins County, Greene County, Washington County, and Sullivan County until 10:30. If you are in that area, you're hearing the winds picking up, you got to seek shelter immediately. Get to a lower level of your house. Hallway, closet, basement, or a bathroom, safest place to be. And again, that camera there, let's go back to the Buffalo Mountain camera, Alex, and see if we get a better idea of that, because the lightning here is just incredible. And you can see, if you kind of use your imagination, a little bit of dark, you see that right there.
Yep.
Incredible storm. So let's go back to the radar now. You're going to have to hit the X on there to get back to the radar. But let's go to the X there and back to reflectivity, and we'll show you the radar because he's hitting that. There is a storm complex. So what you're looking at, when we've been looking at these cameras, we're looking from Johnson City right up to the north where this whole complex of storms is. Let's put the warnings back on just for a quick second, and you can see this is a tornado warning. This is including Greene County, Hawkins County, Sullivan County, and Washington County until 10:30. A lot of warnings on this map, but let's widen this out just for a second because you can see this whole area being warned on, not only for this, but now it looks like, Alex, they're going to keep that warning back to the west. If you could widen this out a bit more, you can see we have two areas of concern now. One cluster right here over Kingsport. Yep. This next one, Alex, I wouldn't let the guard down on that either.
I agree.
A little bit of appendage hanging down there as well. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking here at reflectivity, and now we're looking at velocity now on the ones back to the west of Seguinsville. And you can definitely see this storm here we've been looking at near Conklin Town, coming up towards the southwest of Kingsport and the south of Kingsport, right north of Interstate 81. All right, so we'll take your warnings off again. Let's zoom in first of all on this Conklin Town storm. And again, this is the one, the lightning's not ramping up too much here. Still a pretty good hail core. And I think if we saw something, it's most likely into here. Let's check the storm relative and see if we see anything on that. This storm has been weakening a bit. Mm-hmm. There's still some wind energy right there, but I do not see the couplet that we were looking at earlier, Alex, and that's a good thing. Yeah. We're not seeing that couplet there. Let's go back to the west. So not saying you can't have a tornado, but we're not seeing the couplet that was well defined earlier. And here too, back towards Fisher Creek and Big Creek, you're also seeing that possibility of some strong winds with these cells as they are continuing to make their way through East Tennessee. So a broader rotation. Let's go out and just give you a whole viewpoint again. If you've just joined us or you're still interested in the weather here, we do have tornado warnings in effect for Greene County, Hawkins County, Sullivan County, Washington County for these clusters of storms until 10:30 tonight. They have been rotating aloft. We were watching this through the evening, and that's why we're on the air, because they've now issued the tornado warnings. We stay on the air until the warnings are complete. But nonetheless, look at this, Alex. We're looking at heavy rainfall. Let's go up into Scott County and just widen this out a bit more, because this has the potential of producing localized flooding now, because the rain is over the same areas which we told you about throughout the afternoon into the early evening. Look at this very heavy rain coming down now just outside of Gate City down to Bloomingdale into Kingsport. There's a hail core in the purple, and then we take you back to the west. We're still watching a large complex of rain into Hawkins County and Hancock County. That's why we had now a flood potential with these storms as they continue to make their way through. You're seeing a lot of lightning. Let's go back to the camera if we can, Buffalo. I'm just going to step off the screen here. I just want to see what Buffalo Mountain camera looks like as we're watching that. In Jefferson County, by the way, in Tennessee, I'm seeing heavy rain producing water there on the roadways. And again, you're looking there at our viewpoint. Look at the immense amount of lightning here. Incredible. Naturally, being a meteorologist, I love watching this, but it's incredible how much lightning there is with these storms. We told you all day we'd have severe weather today. Well, here it is. It's all out ahead of a cold front that continues to make its way through. If you'll click over your Buffalo camera and take our weather graphics here, I want to show you that camera real quick, full screen, so we can see it a little bit better without all the logos on there. And again, Buffalo Mountain right here, Alex is clicking on that, because here you can just see that incredible amount of lightning here, and that again is just north of Johnson City. So we're not seeing that in Johnson City. You're not seeing it in Boones Creek. It's really from the I-81-26 corridor northward, westward, and northeastward, and that's where the heaviest rains are now being found. Just incredible amounts of lightning. So you want to get indoors, especially if you're seeing that. Let's go back to the radar, and again, that tornado warning still in effect. They're going to keep that now. They're they're keeping it also for Hawkins County now, Alex. So two systems we're watching. Let's put the warnings back on. Leave the image right there, because look at this. The red, the blinking red, tornado warning. Tornado warning all the way to the Tri-City Airport. So we're watching Hawkins County, we're watching northern areas of Greene County and Sullivan County, Washington County, into areas of Southwest Virginia, looking at severe thunderstorm warnings here. But we're watching these two cells because they do have a potential of producing a very quick spin up of a tornado. All the ingredients are there. We've already seen couplets on the radar. And now let's take a look at a few of these. We'll first look at this storm here just south and west of Kingsport. If we do that, you can see a little hail core right there. We'll keep it right there. Let's look at the velocity on there just to see if we see any couplets where we'd see the red and green, the winds coming around, creating a spin up. We're seeing some bright green here. I don't see a particular tornado couplet, but we are seeing some strong winds. And if Alex queries that, you can look at how high that is off the ground right in through there. Some of the bright green banding.
That is about 3,000 feet off the ground?
Yeah, let's click on the bright green there and see what the wind is in some of that bright velocity mode. And again, you're looking at maybe 30, 40 mile an hour winds. It's just above the surface. So with the thunderstorms being as tall as they are, that can bring that wind energy down to the ground. So that's what we're looking at here. That is a tornado warning. We're looking at just some of the winds aloft. Now Alex is going to put this back into radar mode, and we'll zoom on back to the west now. And let's look at these cells here coming into Seguinsville again. This complex has a potential. That's why they're still keeping a warning on it. Tornado warning for Hawkins County until 10:30. This whole area under a tornado warning, by the way. Hawkins County, Northern Greene, Washington, Sullivan County until 10:30 tonight. So here's your radar. I don't see much hail, but let's look at the velocity on here and see if, in fact, we have a tornado signature. And again, we're just picking up some of the high winds. This will be an interesting area right there, northwest of Seguinsville, Alex, to watch.
Where you kind of see where it kind of bends around.
Yeah,
that's making me concerned.
Go ahead and take Alex. He can give us a better idea as he draws on that. Take off your warnings, though, Alex, if you can, so we can give a little explanation of what's going on that image. Alex, you're on your camera right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're looking at is two supercell thunderstorms. These are thunderstorms that are rotating because of the wind environment that we have this evening in place across the area. There is the potential for rotation on these storms. And so what you're looking at is both of these are rotating supercell thunderstorms, and the appendages that you see is the rear flank of the storm, kind of the rear part getting wrapped up towards the front of the storm. So that is what we're seeing on radar. That shows us it's rotating. And then, of course, we can cross-check that with our storm relative velocity. So we're looking at the winds in the storm as well, and we can see rotation there. Well, earlier we saw the red and the green right next to each other. Very strong, what we call a couplet, and that can indicate that we're seeing intense rotation. Right now, it's weakened a little bit, but I don't want you to let your guard down because these could be cycling. And so what that means is it goes through a period where it could produce the potential of a tornado, and then it kind of it dies out for a little bit, but a new circulation could be forming within that storm and then could re-intensify. So I understand why they're completely extending these warnings downstream, why they haven't let them expire, because these storms could very well be producing a new updraft, new downdraft, and those will be rotating within the storm. So that's what we call a cycling supercell, and that's indeed what we're dealing with tonight, Mark. No surprise there that we've had this type of environment.
Yeah, we're going to definitely something that bears watching. We had two systems we're watching now. One cluster here, the other cluster back here, and yet another cluster behind that. And this, believe it or not, folks, is all out ahead of the front. We haven't even seen the front come down yet. And the front comes down late night, early morning. So we're still going to hold on to this chance of strong to severe thunderstorms. Here's the one system we're looking at now. Let's switch over to my links here, Alex, if you can, because I've highlighted these are the warnings. These are the two tornado warnings. We have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, but here are your tornado warnings again. Both of these in effect, and they cover Hawkins County into northern areas of Greene County, Washington County, Sullivan County. These are tornado warnings. They're in effect until 10:30. We still have some time to go here, as either one of these complexes of storms could produce a quick spin up of a tornado. We've already seen what we term as a couplet, where the red and the green come together, and that's what we've been looking at here for that possibility of some rotation with some of these cells. All right, so we'll switch there back to your radar, Alex, and let's look, because I see several appendages dropping down again. Our concern here. Let's look at this cell right here back towards the Tri-City Airport now. We are right over, lift your screen up some if you would. We are right over the 8126 corridor right here. pretty good hail core right there, just south of the city of Kingsport. And there's your 8126 corridor. I want to highlight the fact that as you watch this, let's go back into that storm relative mode, because here too, we're looking at that rotation aloft hasn't been showing up too well. But again, if you take that out there, Alex, and let's query that green there, the bright green right in through here, probably 30 to 40 again. So we are looking at some winds aloft. And if you're in that area, you got thunderstorms, you may have some of that come down to the ground. So we aren't seeing the lightning ramping up as we were earlier. That lightning pretty good here. Here comes a new tornado warning, Alex. It looks like this is for Carter, Sullivan, Washington, including Bristol, Virginia. This is a new tornado warning. We're just getting images on that coming in now. And I just want to, this will be in effect until 11 o'clock. So this is for Sullivan, Northeast Washington County, Northwest Carter County, the city of Bristol, possible over Colonial Heights, Alex. And that's what we just looked at. This is what we're looking at that right here. So that's the storm we continue to watch, as it could still be producing a tornado right over Colonial Heights. All right, let's do this, Alex. Let's zoom in here if we can, right into areas right over the Colonial Heights. You know where that's at. We're taking you right up the interstate. Let's not go so close. We got, all right, right here is the Tri-City Airport. Here's the road, Tri-City Airport. This is Interstate 81. Here is 26 right here. And let's go ahead and show you that storm relative, because this is a tornado warning. Yep, look at this. We're starting to see more broad rotation there, even though we're not seeing the reds on this map. If you expand the view, let's pull it out some so viewers can get an idea where they're at. Keep going out now. This is a new tornado warning. Now, if you leave it right here for 1 second, let me just, if you just get your bearings straight, guys, this is coming out of Hawkins County. It's moving across Sullivan, Northern Greene, Northern Washington, now coming into Bluff City and Northern Carter County. So anywhere in this swath, this storm is moving at about 25 miles per hour. It has the potential of producing a tornado. This is why we oftentimes say now's the time to get in your safe spot. You got to get into a hallway, a closet, the lowest level of your house, bathroom or a basement. Bathroom, people get in a bathtub. That's a safe place to be. And this is the reason why. We're looking at this broad circulation here. We've seen it ramp up very quickly, die down very quickly, but it is a possibility we could have a tornado going on right here over the Colonial Heights area. It's not saying that we have a tornado now, but it's a possibility. You could see a quick spin up here right over the Colonial Heights area. It's moving right here, Alex. You can definitely see that. That's broad center circulation. Let me jump back here to Seguinsville, because here we're still under tornado warning, and I'm seeing some bright banding there as well. But this, they're warning now on this new tornado because of this right here, right over Colonial Heights. All right, so let's move this back a little bit to the west, and let's zoom on down just a hair, and let's take the warnings off here for areas right through the Tri-Cities. This is that broad circulation we're looking at. And again, we're looking at from Morristown, the radar beam. How high is this, by the way? Let's click on some of the green. How high off the radar is that as we look at this, Alex? If you click on a bright green banding lower right there.
That's about 3,300 feet off the ground there.
3,300. From the radar itself, we want to know. How far is that from the radar is what we're looking at.
That is 52 miles.
52 miles.
About 60
All
miles.
right. And we do have the possibility of not only the tornado possibility, but quarter-size hail or larger. So take that off. Let's look at some of the wind, the hail core. I didn't see the hail core earlier, but now we're starting to pick up hail again with this just outside of the I-2681 corridor, and we've seen some of the hail back there in Seguinsville. So let's broaden this out a little bit more, because we want to get our friends in Carter County, Bluff City in on this. Let's move it up a bit. Now, my concern is you're seeing all this lightning ramping up here through Scott County into Washington County. If you look at that real quick, the storm relative, don't move the map, but just let's look at storm relative up in this area here, and I'm not seeing much in terms of that either, so that's good news. But they're still keeping a tornado warning for this area right here. We've seen some broad circulation with that, and let's go back. Let's look at just the velocity just real quick, just to see if, you could see some bright banding here. And again, this most likely area is right in through here. That's Colonial Heights right there. You see that right there, Alex? And then we go into storm relative, and you look at that right there. That's again going to your storm relative on there, and we can definitely see if we see any rotation with that as well. Are you back in storm relative right there?
There's
you
a
go.
storm relative right there.
And take the numbers off here. So there's that broad circulation right there. Again, if you were to see a tornado, might see it aloft, might be a frontal cloud. It's not really a tornado until it touches ground, but nonetheless, the clouds may be rotating right here. That is the reason we're looking at tornado warning here, and that's in effect for the Sullivan County, Washington County, Carter County, back into Hawkins County, Greene County as well. We have 2 clusters of storms. Let's go ahead. We're going to, while he gets a radar, we'll take the cameras here that we have, and we're going to recycle the radar here in a second. What camera you got there, Ralph? All right, we're looking here at Bays Mountain. It looks like some power may be out here too. We're looking at, or the clouds may be around, but nonetheless, you're looking here from Bays Mountain. Let's switch over, Alex, if you would push Buffalo on yours, and let's take a look at Alex's computer. Ooh, did you see that lightning strike right there?
That was
incredible. Right there, right down. I mean, that's a vivid. Look at this. There's a tower right there. Let's keep this up a second, because now we're seeing some of the lightning coming in. We've got the tower cam, and there's a tower right here from our Bays Mountain camera, and so when the lightning illuminates, you're seeing the tower here, and this is downtown Kingsport and surrounding areas, Eastman and so forth, and this is where we're seeing the lightning strikes. Look at this, a lot of lightning going on with these storms, and the reason it's the color it is because of the fact that we have the atmospheric conditions suitable for that as well. All right, let's take the Buffalo camera if you can, because here's Buffalo Mountain. Look at this incredible structure with the lightning in the clouds. We have cloud to cloud, cloud to ground lightning. These are incredible thunderstorms, and again, they've been reaching heights upward of 50,000 feet. So this, again, Buffalo Mountain, we're watching the storms. You're in Johnson City, and you're seeing the lightning. This incredible here, and we'll take a sky cam now in Johnson City. Before we do that, let's go back to that Buffalo that Alex has. Ralph, if you switch that. Look at this. This is my concern right here. Look at this, Alex.
Yep.
When the lightning comes up, I got to get my, look, there's something right in through here, and that
It's
would be
very low,
the
yeah.
Colonial Heights area. You can definitely see that. Not saying it's a tornado, but it could be a pretty good rain shaft also. So right in through here, you're looking from Buffalo Mountain, Johnson City. There's something right there. You see that, Alex? We're right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look right here.
Here,
Watch this, folks, right here.
I can't circle
We're
it
seeing
right
a
now.
lot
There's
of lightning. There's something coming down. Let's look at the radar, because that would be just outside, possibly towards Colonial Heights, where we have that tornado warning storm. That's where they were indicating that when they issued this warning. And again, you're looking, keep the map right here. We're looking from Buffalo this direction. So you see the appendage here hanging down. You see another one hanging down, another one. That would be some rain shaft or a possibility of maybe even a funnel cloud right over this area. So as we zoom into that area, let's do, keep zooming, and let's lift this northward. Lift the whole map north right there. Let's keep it right here just for a second, because you see all these appendages coming down. I call them appendage, a little trying to see hooks here. Let's go ahead and now look at the storm relative, because as we look at that, is that current? It doesn't look like it's lining up too well. You got the current image on here.
That's current.
Because here is the another bit of some rotation there we're looking at. This, again, moving 25 miles per hour. This is a tornado warning here right up the Interstate 81 corridor. You're seeing Interstate 26 down here. Here's the cross-section of that. Colonial Heights right in through here. Now we're getting up towards the Tri-City Airport in Blountville. As you'll see that continuing to make its way off towards the northeast. So there, let's go from that image right there. Keep it right there. Let's just look at velocity in general and see if we see it. Yeah, there's still something going on right there, Alex, even though that's a broader velocity. So you got this area here, bright red. Let's just go back into storm relative if you can. And again, if you're living in this area, you got severe weather approaching your region, you want to seek shelter immediately inside, away from closets. Away from windows. You want to get into a closet, hallway, a bathroom, or a basement. Those are the safest places. Now, these may be some erroneous data right here, Alex, but nonetheless, we're looking at this. There's still some broad circulation right there in association with that cell. So this, again, tornado warning, and it's in effect for Sullivan County, Washington County, even into Carter County. Let's widen this out and put this in motion for about 15 minutes. Let's take these off here just for a second, because I want to show everybody where these storms are at. Just go wider for us, because you notice here, these are all moving towards the east. So you see that Church Hill. Rogersville, Kingsport, now into Tri-City Airport, Bluff City. All this moving east. I do want to highlight to our friends southwest, more thunderstorms also coming up into Cock County. Alex, you can widen this out a bit more because these storms going to move right into Greene County. And again, because of the nature of the atmosphere, any one of these could rotate and go tornado very, very quickly. So now we're going to add on that image, let's add the warnings back in here because here are all your tornado warnings. And now look at this, we've had the flood warnings issued because of that heavy rain. But these, you can tell, are very slow moving storms. We say 25, that's relatively slow. The other day, last week, we were going 40, 50. So these are slower. They're going to put down more rain, which could result in localized flooding. And again, these are all your tornado warning storms. Already seeing some of this heavier precipitation now coming into parts of Greene and Cock County. So let's zoom in now. And as we do so, we'll take you down towards the Tri-City Airport again. We're watching this. We'll stop the motion right here. Bluff City, you folks are going to be hard hit with heavier rain. Tri-City Airport just to your north there. And you can see, let's put the interstate back on here. I'm trying to see if you zoom on down. Yeah, here's your interstate right through here. And here's 2681 and 81 up towards the Tri-City Airport. Here's the road down to the Tri-City Airport there. And again, if you look at that, that's quite a complex of thunderstorms, a lot of lightning with that. And now let's also look at the storm relative again, just to give an idea of where we may see some rotation. We're on the air. We have numerous tornado warnings going, and these are in effect until 10:30 tonight. So, Alex, there's just broad rotation here. I don't see any tight couplet that we had earlier. So let's do this for our viewers, because I know oftentimes they say, what are you talking about a couplet? Let's go back in time just for a second. Let's take you back on this particular image and go back about 15 to 30 minutes. You can watch this area here. Alex is going to take a step-by-step backwards, and you can see the couplet showing up very well. I'm trying to think where that was at, Alex, as it was over maybe Hawkins County. Very good couplet there as it moved. Let's go back maybe 30 because you may have to pull back into Hawkins right here. Here's the couplet we were watching. That's a very good couplet right here, just south of Churchill, and then it moved right up along and close to I-26 and 81. There's your couplet there that Alex had. It's a broad circulation. It was a little tighter the farther back you went, but nonetheless, that's what we're looking at. These things spin up very quickly. We see a green and red couplet, tells us there's rotation in the atmosphere, and that's why we're telling you to seek shelter if you're in the path of these storms. These are tornado warnings, not watches, warnings, meaning that the Doppler radar has indicated some rotation with some of these cells as they've been making their way across the region. So again, these are warnings here, so we're watching. And the other thing concern is you got to be on the lookout for the possibility of hail. I'm just reading some stuff here. Sullivan County, we have trees down on Moreland Drive in Kingsport. And if you are getting reports or you have damage in your area, you can send us your reports, PIX, that's PIX at WJHL.com. Now, we're getting no power outages. Also, Laurel's here. Laurel can pull up our power outage graphics as we're talking about this too. Power outages in the Colonial Heights area now showing up too, Alex. So there's your hail core. Let's go back to radar, because here's the radar again, Tri-City Airport right here. You're seeing some of the lightning ramping up here into Sullivan County. So right here, Tri-City Airport, Bluff City is here. Heavy complex of thunderstorms still going on. And we're still, Alex, I'm still a little worried. We're still seeing that appendage right there, kind of hanging down towards the Tri-City Airport. Let's see if we can take one of our cameras. Let's try Buffalo with you, Alex. Okay. We'll take our Buffalo Mountain camera real quick, and then we'll get Ralph's camera. There's Buffalo Mountain. You can still see quite a bit of lightning with that. And this right here, if you look really closely, look at this. You can almost see the rain shaft. I mean, it's got to be pouring up there. We're seeing that. If it were a sunny day, we'd have probably sunshine here, or at least some sun in Johnson City. And you're looking here as we are looking down towards Kingsport and surrounding areas. We're looking north, a lot of lightning in association with that as well. Johnson City is our next camera. Look at that, just incredible lightning here. So we're on North State of Franklin, looking down from the Bank of Tennessee. And again, we're looking towards the north here in association with the storms there. And if we can, let's go to our Buffalo Mountain camera, because Buffalo, as I said earlier, that's where the power, it looks like we may have a lot of power outages now going on in Sullivan County. So if you can, we're going to get our, do the individual counties there, Laurel. It's much better. We can take Hawkins and Sullivan County here in a minute. We'll take those momentarily. But you can see a lot of lights out here, Alex. So let's go back to the forecast maps, and we'll show you what's going on with the reflectivity again. Here's your thunderstorm complex again. If we were still looking at that tornado warning, it's still in effect until 10:30, right over the Tri-City Airport. Bluff City may be on that soon. And then you're seeing heavy heavier downpours back towards Kingsport, Churchill. And now new thunderstorms are developing in northeastern Greene County. These are going to come over the border into Washington County as well. Here's Interstate 26. 81's right through here. This is Interstate 81, heavy rainfall here. Let's look at your storm relative, and then we can talk about some of the power outages. And again, here's your storm relative. Look, Alex.
Starting to tighten back up again.
It's recycling again.
Just south of the airport there.
Let's zoom in. You can actually see the runway on this map if you zoom in close enough to it. If you keep going, you're looking right here. We've got the road coming down. Right here's Tri-City Airport, and you've got some rain on the map here, but nonetheless, this is broad circulation. It's not a defined tornado per se, it's just broad circulation, and that's right over Boring Chapel Road, and you're seeing some of that right here. So let's expand this view, make it wider is what I'm trying to say, and you can see this is the airport road, Bristol Highway right here. You're seeing areas right near the airport. This is a broad center of circulation coming right over top of the airport. And again, let's look at just regular velocity with that, just to see what it's showing on there. Yeah, you see the bright banding here.
Yep.
And again, if you query some of that, how high is that red there? What's the velocity on that? 50? Yep. 50 now go back to your storm relative, and let's take a look and see if we see anything tightening up here. Just query some of the red and the green right here, this green here, red through here, this bright banding there. And so, yeah, there's some broad circulation. It's broad. It's not couplet per se, but nonetheless, it's broad circulation that we continue to watch.
Tornado warning was expired for Hawkins County.
Yeah. All right, so that's good news. As we go back to our regular radar, he's going to put some warnings on here. Then we'll talk about your power outages here. Let's widen this whole view out so we can see our whole DMA real quick. If we can, Alex, just go back to home there on the map. There you go. And you can see these warnings again, really clipping into Lee County, Scott County, Washington County, Sullivan County, Hawkins County. The tornado warning here has been allowed to expire. So we'll zoom back towards the Tri-City Airport. Laurel's got some graphics. We're going to switch over, Alex, if you would, to links. There you go. Here is Hawkins County, already seeing power outages, 300. Have you got the individual counties on, Alex? All right, Laurel, let's go individual. We have those under power outage maps. Here's your Hawkins County here. We've got 300 now without power in Hawkins County, 1% of the county there. Let's look at Kingsport, Sullivan County, and see if we have any power outages. Again, you're looking at power outages here. Hawkins County, now we're up into areas right around Sullivan County where we're going to go next and see if we have any power outages here in the Sullivan County. None as of yet. It's really just over Hawkins County where we have had some of the trees down. Here is a shot downtown Johnson City now real quick, and we'll take a look here. We're seeing the rain. Is that downtown Johnson City?
Looks like Bristol.
Or is that Bristol?
I think that's State Street.
Okay. That's his downtown Johnson City right here. So it looks like maybe downtown Johnson City. And all right, let's go up to the, what's the next one? Bristol camera you got? Yeah, a lot of lightning with these storms. That's downtown Johnson City right there. I can see the building.
Yeah, the other
this
one
is Johnson
was Bristol.
City. The other one was Bristol.
State
So here you go. This is downtown Johnson City. You're seeing lightning off in the distance, off to our north. So let's take the Buffalo Mountain camera, Alex. Take that on your links. If we could go back to Alex's computer, we can watch that cell too, because you can see a links camera. Alex, let's go to yours. There you go.
There you go.
You can see that right here. This is the complex of storms we're watching now, right over just north of Johnson City. Look at that. Look at that incredible lightning. And the interesting fact about the lightning tonight, it's not only cloud to cloud, it's cloud to ground, cloud to air maybe. We have all kinds of lightning in here tonight at a pretty good swath. You notice this? That is one impressive thunderstorm. If you look at that, you could almost try and use your imagination. Almost pick out like a shelf or something. There's a shelf cloud in there. You look at it,
100%.
or something.
You can see the overshooting top too.
Right in through here.
If you look just
and then your overshooting
the
top is over here. We'll leave this up for a second with the next lightning strike. You can see that overshooting top where the clouds are way up into the atmosphere right there. Look at that, off to the right of that. Just incredible. That thunderstorm is right here, Alex, and it's not moving much. Now, here's a cool feature. You see the lights down here, how you can't see the lights? Either rain shaft or maybe something else. So let's go back to your radar and look at this again. We're looking at Buffalo Mountain towards the Kingsport area, and now look at that. There's still, that's current image. It's 1028. We're now looking at that broad center of circulation. Here's your 2681 corridor. We're over near the Tri-City Airport, and you're talking about Highway 36 here, or I'm sorry, the highway going to Bluff City as you're coming out of Johnson City. So yeah, This is still that broad circulation right there, right south of the Tri-City Airport that we continue to watch. I don't know if they've not issued any warnings, if they're going to continue this warning at 10:30.
I just see that they've just expired the Hawkins County.
Yeah, the Hawkins County expired, but this is what we're still looking at. And again, there's still something hanging there. And that's what we're probably seeing, Alex, is a low cloud hanging from the mothership, as we call it, the mothership of the thunderstorm complex. You got this little appendage still hanging down here. And if we look at the storm relative again with this, you've got some inflow going into the storm and the outflow. And this is what's coming down, hanging down from the clouds. So if it were a sunny day in parts of the area, you'd look this way and say, oh my gosh, look at that thing hanging down from the cloud. You'd see it coming down. So Alex has seen that. It's kind of ramping up here a little bit, Alex, or is that the same?
Yeah.
Let's take that off there, the drawing off. And you can definitely see there's some red and green couplet. Let's query the data on this just real quick to see what the winds are. And you can probably get your bright green and the brightest red right in through here. Go a little farther north, right where my finger's at right there, right in that red and the bright green, and you might be able to see that because that's a good couplet. So yeah, we're talking still a minimal rotation with that as we continue to see that come on down through the area. So if you're in the Tri-City Airport area or close to the airport, you still want to seek shelter immediately because this could still produce a quick spin up of a tornado. And again, that tornado warning until 10:30. Let's widen this out, show the radar once again, because as you're looking at the radar, I do want to highlight we're still watching the tornado warning. You can put the warnings back on here as we have those still going on. And again, they're expired. The Hawkins County tornado warning gone for Hawkins County, but here's Kingsport. You're still looking at this warning in association with this cell right here, moving through Sullivan, northern Greene County, Washington, and northern Carter County. So this is for this complex. You see Elizabeth and Johnson City not in that warning. So if you're outside, you can look north. You can see that wonderful display of lightning. It's incredible lightning out and about, and some of the lightning strikes still ramping up here. So let's look at the Buffalo camera again, Alex, on your system, because as you do that, we can definitely see the lightning in association with those storms as we are looking for Buffalo. What's that?
I will say the cell to the south concerns me because that's moving into air that's untapped.
This is it moving right or is it moving northeast?
It looks like it's moving more east-southeast.
Yeah, so you've got to be on the lookout for this cell. Right here is what Alex is talking about, and it's moving a little bit towards the right, east a little bit, and again that's coming into northwestern Washington County. I don't know if we have any reflect velocity on there yet, but this is just now going up here, and you're not seeing much with it, but nonetheless, and we still have that little couplet still showing up here near the Tri-City Airport, which is what we're looking at now too. So.
You can definitely see the structure. So what we're talking about is the mothership. The whole thunderstorm is rotating. So the whole base of this thunderstorm all the way up into the atmosphere. You get these striations that will appear on the cloud. So it looks like a rotating top. And that's the lower part of the storm you're pointing at right now.
You're seeing right here something coming down from the cloud, maybe rain. Look at this large right here. That's a large shield of rain, maybe some lower clouds. And you can see the clouds going into the storm too, which is always cool. You got the inflow where the wind is blowing the clouds and sucking them up into the thunderstorm itself. And that's what we oftentimes see. So this is an incredible lightning display here as we're looking at areas towards Kingsport, Sullivan County. This is Johnson City right here. And that lightning display is off to our north. That's what we continue to see. How does the Bristol camera, let's do the Bays, Bristol right there. What's that one look like here? Again, you're looking here at north of Johnson City, and we're looking down from the Bank of Tennessee on North State of Franklin. And if you see the lightning, it's going to be off to the north here as that camera is moving around a bit. But there again, this is North State of Franklin looking at North Johnson City, not seeing much there. Do we have the Bays Mountain camera? If we do, let's try and take that real quick. Here comes Bays Mountain as we're looking at the Bays Mountain camera here too. And again, we're on the air because of tornado warning. We have not seen that allowed to expire yet, but we are seeing severe thunderstorm warnings also being issued back towards our west. Here's Bristol. Look at exit 7. Look at the rain coming down here. You're seeing quite a bit of lightning in that shot as well. You'll see the lightning continuing to make its way through Sullivan County, Scott County, Washington County, and Virginia. So not only Washington County and Tennessee, but we're seeing some of the rain coming down here, Washington County in Virginia now. And that line continues all the way north. Alex could show us that if we go to Alex's radar here. You can see this whole line extending from Abingdon to Bristol down to Bluff City. And you know what, Alex? This is kind of bowing out just a bit. You see how it's kind of getting a more bow shape. And if you look at that and just look at general velocity here, just general velocity, we'll probably pick up on some of the colorization. This thing is still got me a little concerned here is what's going on right there. And again, we're still picking up some bright colorization there, just southeast of the Tri-City Airport now, over Boone Lake and surrounding areas. And again, if we were to see something, there's that rotation right there, just now southwest of the Bluff City area in Bluntsville, as we continue to watch that cell. That's a little bit of rotation coming there. And again, we're watching that. That's why you got the tornado warning, and then click on that. That's still in effect now until 10:30. Is that correct? Because I'm looking here.
Till 11.
Oh, 11 o'clock. I'm sorry. This warning is in effect until 11 o'clock. That's including Sullivan County, northern Washington County, Carter County. You can see the northern areas of Carter County because of this cell right here. It's already moved over the I-2681 corridor. Here's Interstate 81 going north towards Bristol. Bluff City right here. There's that rotation that Alex has been circling now, southeast of the airport. Let's zoom in on that area and show some towns and roads in there, because Bluff City to the Tri-City Airport, let's lift the screen a little bit farther north so everybody can see that. You can keep zooming in because you can see some of the roads here. Rocky Springs, Allison Road here. Right over Allison Road, we may have some broad circulation in here, and that's what we're looking at. Tri-City Airport, here's the runway right there. You see the runway there? Tri-City Airport, then you come southeast, Allison Road. This is getting close to Piney Flats here as well. Bluff City, Piney Flats. Be on guard for this because you may see some broad circulation. In other words, if you went outside, you could still, with lightning, see some of the clouds rotating. Just at least that there's some rotation in the clouds there. Not much lightning though, Alex. You still got the lightning on here. Let's turn the counter on if you can with that. I'm not seeing many strikes here on this particular image.
Kind of north
They're all
of
off
Bluff
to the
City.
northeast right here. So you're seeing that activity there. All right, so there again, your circulation of broad circulation as we are looking at that. And again, I'm not seeing an update or anything on this. If you do have severe weather area, you'd love to share it with us. You can send us an email, pix@wjhl.com. Send us pictures if you get damaged. We've had some trees already down on Moreland Drive in the Kingsport area as that cluster moved through there. It does appear, though, Alex, that these are weakening somewhat. I'm not seeing near the lightning strikes we had earlier. Bristol right here, north of Bluff City, seeing some pretty good lightning. But for the most part, this back towards Kingsport, all rain. Seeing the rain now coming along 81 right there through northwestern areas of Washington County, northeast Greene. And let's just give our viewers in Churchill and Greene County an idea what's coming their way. You can make this a little bit larger here. Rain now coming out through Mossheim and Greenville. Here is another cluster of thunderstorms now coming in from the west. So let's zoom out even farther because we're not done yet. These are the next ones going to make their way in. We are seeing some lightning. Look at that, Oak Ridge, all the way up to Middlesboro. Pretty good line of thunderstorms. This is how it's going to be all night long until we get the front to move through. That's got to come through in the morning. So until then, we're dealing with more of a southwest wind. We have shear in the atmosphere. Conditions are there for favorability of not only damaging thunderstorm winds, but also some rotation with some of these. And then our next concern, as you can see here, you're getting rain over the same areas over and over again. And on average, it does appear we'll see 1 to 2 inches of rain tonight through early tomorrow until the front itself moves through. All right, so we're talking tornado warning here. Let's give you an idea. There's some of the heavier rain, by the way, back into parts of East Tennessee coming up towards Kingsport. Let's zoom back into the Tri-City Airport again and put your warning back on. You could just take the severe warnings off for a second, leave the tornado warnings on, Alex, and that way our viewers will get an idea of what they're looking at. This is the storm we're still looking at here, Elizabeth and Johnson City, Bluff City, and that is a tornado warned storm, believe it or not. You're looking here, we've been seeing a little appendage hanging down here. This is the only tornado warning we have. Is that correct?
That is
over
correct.
East Tennessee. Sullivan County, Washington, and Carter County in this. So Alex has Sullivan County. We've got a small smidgen here. You can click on that. Carter County is on that. And then Washington County here, northern Washington County. But really, I'd say from the Tri-City Airport to Bluff City, Piney Flats, that's the better area if you're going to see a tornado spin up. That's most likely where it would be. You got that appendage hanging down here. Take the warnings off. Get some of the stuff off here so we can zoom in. Let's look at the storm relative here. And again, right in through here. Look, we still Alex,
persistently staying there.
It's not well defined given our circumstances. We have mountains here. I know people oftentimes say, hey, it is harder to see tornadoes because of our terrain here sometimes. And if you look at this, how far is that from the actual radar now in Morristown? How far away are we?
So we're looking at about 60 miles from the radar.
So you
about
have to
4,000
realize
feet.
radar beams here, we're going out 60 miles, we're going up with height. as we're looking at this storm from Morristown. Let's switch over real quick just to see what Jackson looks like too. So we're going 60 miles from Morristown to that site. Here's a Jackson radar. We'll look at the shear on there. They're picking it up as well. There's a little bit of rotation here is what we're looking at, and that's why that tornado warning is still in effect. So we'll go back to Morristown. Let's look at the shear path though, because you can definitely see where that storm's been rotating right through here. We've had some rotation even farther back. Look how this started all the way back into Hawkins County, way back here. Sneedville moved right over Hawkins County, right up towards the Tri-City Airport. So this storm has been cycling, kind of spinning up, dying down, spinning up counterclockwise, and that's what we're looking at here with that bit of rotation coming right over the Tri-City Airport. And hail core, not a lot, but we have seen some hail with these, Alex. Not a lot though. Yeah. Really, I'm surprised because there are just a few spikes of the hail that we've seen across the area here, back towards Seguinsville, southeast of there. Here's the Tri-City Airport again. Let's go back to the radar. And again, the other big concern here is we're looking at the potential for some locally heavy amounts of rain. So here's a swath. Abingdon to Bristol, Bluff City, you're in on it now. You zoom in closer, you can see Piney Flats in on that as well. And just move the map a bit, you can definitely see Piney Flats, Bluff City right there. We'll get to Piney Flats. You're coming on there. Keep zooming on down. You may have to go a little farther north. Piney's down here, but nonetheless, move the map up a little north there.
You'll see Piney coming. A couple other places on here.
Here is Piney down through here, Alex, down south. There you go. Do you see Piney on there? Austin Springs, you may not have it on there. All right, but nonetheless, Avoca Elementary School area, you're seeing that there, right on down towards the Tri-City Airport. Here's what's really interesting. Look at this back here.
Flats. Another
good hail core coming up there back east of Kingsport. If you zoom on up to that area, that second storm, you can see that right here. Beach Cliff Estates, you're seeing that pretty good hail core. It may not be showing up, but at least it tells us there's hail within that complex of showers and storms. All right, we're going to turn the warnings back on again. And again, if you've just joined us, it's not looking as good as it did earlier, but doesn't mean we can't have a quick spin up of a tornado. And that tornado warning is continuing now until 11 o'clock. They're going to continue the warning, and that's for Carter County, Sullivan, and Washington County. That also includes the town of Bristol, city of Bristol here. Here's Bluff City. Alex got, let's move this over so we can see Bristol on here. Here's Bristol. This is your tornado warning here from near the Tri-City Airport. Let's take a look at Bristol right now. You can see the camera. You can see the pouring rain right now. Look at this. Look at the lights right here. Heavy rain, slowing traffic on Interstate 81. This is the interstate right here. You're going northeast on this image, so this way would be up towards Wytheville, coming down towards Bristol. Exit 7 right there. Very heavy rainfall. Have we got the other camera there from Bays Mountain? If we have that, you can definitely see some of the power outages. Look at the lightning still going on here. And again, Hawkins County, we've had power outages already. I don't know if you still have some of the power outages there, but Skycam Johnson City, take a look here. You're seeing it looks, I can't tell if it's raining in that view. It still looks relatively dry to me, Alex. I'm not seeing rain. Do you see any rain on there?
Yeah, I'm not. And I mean, if we look at radar, if we go back to radar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the radar. I don't think there's much on here.
There isn't.
Yeah, so take it from that vantage point. Let's go to your Buffalo camera, Alex. If we'll take Alex's camera again, because there's a tornado warning. We're going to look from Buffalo, which is south of Johnson City here. And again, you can see that storm right through here. You're seeing a lot of low clouds here and not much lightning now. Interesting feature right there, Alex. Look at that cloud laying there.
Yeah, that looks very concerning. I mean, it looks like there could be a tornado on the ground. Now, looking at radar, we're seeing weak rotation.
And
so
this is probably, that's out in gray right there. The tower's coming up right there. So it'd be due north of the gray area up towards Sullivan County.
The one thing I do want to show you there, look at the cloud. Notice how it's tilted. That's the wind shear.
Yeah, there's wind shear definitely going on here, which is why these storms are rotating. You get a storm to go up, it starts rotating because you're getting different levels of height. The wind shifts at heights and therefore creates that spin. This is also interesting here, Alex. See that right there?
It
you
is,
get a little bit of cloud and then coming down. It's interesting to watch that. So kind of worrisome when you look at the clouds, but it's late at night and it's hard to see that with the lightning. It has to have illumination, and most of the lightning is now pushing off towards the east-northeast. Some of this may actually be some scud cloud too. Low clouds which hang and hug the valleys and the mountain locations. Let's go back to radar again and take it just north. That's an incredible storm right there. Take you north here, and again, here comes, let's see what that is.
New tornado warning for Carter, Johnson, and Sullivan.
So they're going to keep this warned storm because of this right here. All right, so that's a new tornado warning, and that again for Carter County, Sullivan County, and Johnson County now, because
Still
look at this,
there,
Alex.
Mark.
It's amazing here that, and we may have to ask our producers if we're getting any, or Laurel's here, she can check her email,
Yeah,
if
Laurel,
we're
do you wanna
getting
see if we have
any
any
reports of
reports?
severe weather, because it's not showing up. You know what you need to do, Alex? Let's take your warning off so we can get rid of the red.
Okay.
And I want to point this out. This is that circulation that's very broad. And that's why they're keeping this going. It's moving at about 25 miles per hour. And that's, again, a tornado warning. Could see maybe a 3/4 inch diameter hail with some of these cells as they're moving slowly,
that to the
capable of
east?
producing 7 miles south of Bristol. So let's go up. Is that 7 miles south of Bristol right here? That's most likely it. Let's go.
I'm just going to put a track on this real quick, Mark.
Yeah, he's putting a track on this, and then we'll show you where Bristol is. There's that right there. You're still on that radar. And here's some of the towns here, Sadie, and you're seeing some of the times here, about 11:05, another 15, 20 minutes or so, 10:48 in Barnett's. But let's do this, Alex. Let's get rid of this real quick. Go up here to Bristol. They're saying about 7 miles. Yeah, so that's about right. That's what we're looking at here. That's why the Weather Service is looking at this area too. This is a rotation, broad rotation that we're looking at. And you're seeing some of that. Let's lift this map a little bit farther north right there. Stop right there. And let's go out from Bristol, say down a little bit farther. Keep going out a little bit more, because that's broad rotation right there. We're going to keep it right there. This is the rotation we're looking at. If we were having a tornado, this is your tornado warning. This would most likely be where it's at. All right, Laura, go ahead.
All right, so from our email, we are getting so many photos of amazing photos of lightning strikes all across the region. And Mark, like you were saying, this is easily cloud to ground lightning, which is extremely dangerous in these times, especially when we're in the severe weather. Also, we are currently live on our Storm Team 11 Facebook page, where you are listening in to our storm coverage. And also you have the ability to, in that Facebook Live, to write in if your power is out, or any storm reports that you are seeing in your hometown. So we are definitely listening in on this. That's why it might be a little bit quiet on our Storm Team 11 Live, but a lot of people are reporting, once again, lots of lightning, as well as a couple of very heavy downpours, especially if you're local to Bluff City. But that's really about it. That's all we're seeing as reports of storms from all of our viewers in the Storm Team 11 Facebook Live, where once again you can write all of your storm reports that you are currently seeing with this storm.
All right, so Laurel's on our social media right now. She's on our Facebook pages. You can communicate with her there. We're looking again from Buffalo Mountain. Alex and I have been watching that lightning, the incredible clouds. And again, Alex, while we watch this, it's interesting to note how the storm is moving off to the northeast with the lightning. So this vantage point has us Johnson City, Kingsport. We'd have to turn this camera, which we might be able to do here in a minute, and look more northeast. I don't know if you could do that real quick, but this is nonetheless what we're looking at as we see some of the low clouds here on the radar. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the radar and our latest imagery. Let's go to another camera if we have any other cameras, Ralph. You may be able to take Bays Mountain here too, because we've got the showers, we've got the thunderstorms over parts of Sullivan County, parts of Washington and Johnson County. All right, we're going to Bristol right now. Here's a look at exit 7, and while you're trying to do that, Alex, if you'll pump up the radar for us, this is exit 7 here again. You're seeing some of the heavier downpours still coming down there along Interstate 81. And you notice here, looks like we may have a little bit of power outage here going on at exit 7 as well. So it's kind of dark here. I'm seeing some of the darkening, which indicates maybe a few lightning strikes, a little bit of power outages here. So Laurel, if you can, let's get up Sullivan County, and we'll take even Washington County and Washington County, both Tennessee and Virginia. If we could do that individually, we'll look at some of the power outages here on your map. You've got yeah, she's going to show us right here. Here is a look at Hawkins County. Still 300 without power there. I don't know if we have any of those. Are you taking them? That's it right now, right?
That is it, is what I can see. This hasn't updated quite yet, but it's definitely, as soon as it will, I'll put it back up.
All right, so Alex, let's look at the radar one more time. I want to talk about this tornado warning. If you put the warnings back on, just the tornado warnings real quick. Tornado warning that is in effect now until what time is that warning now?
That's in effect until 11:45.
Yeah, 11:45 tonight. That's Sullivan County, Carter County, and Johnson County. And the good reason for it, it's this cell right here, which could still produce a quick spin up of a tornado. And look here, we're still watching these little appendages coming down out of that cell. There is still rotation right here. Look at that. Pretty good couplet right there, Alex, as it's zooming. Let's call it zoom all in. Put that up now southeast of Bluff City.
Take off
if you zoom in a little bit farther, let's get some roads on here so people can identify where they're at. And you definitely see Holston Mountain Road right here. You're looking at this a little bit of rotation right here. Here's the Bluff City area. So southeast of Bluff City, Barnett, you're seeing that as well. If you had a tornado, it could be a funnel cloud. It could be rotation in the sky, in the clouds. But nonetheless, this is why we're still on the air for that area right there. That is our couplet. That's where the National Weather Service sees a possibility of rotation. That's where we're seeing it as well. And that's the rotating thunderstorm. This is, again, a tornado warning, and it's right over Sullivan County, getting ready to clip into parts of Carter and Johnson County. So Sullivan, Carter, and Johnson County under the gun here. Tornado warning, and that's in effect until 11:45 tonight. This thing just keeps cycling, Alex, and just ramps up and dies back down. You could look at the storm. Let's look at the shear path real quick just to see if there's any bright. Yeah, see how this moved right here, right over Piney, and you're seeing that's not really associated with it, but nonetheless, it's moving right here. This is the area to be in right there. So again, we're taking Mountain City here too, our camera, and you folks are a little ways from that, but nonetheless, you're seeing some of the clouds in the valley. Not much going on, maybe some rain showers coming your way, but this storm we're watching is really right now over Sullivan County, back to our radar, and we'll show you the rate. Look at that lightning, just that looks like something out of a movie, right? It's beautiful there. Seeing a lot of lightning coming your way in Johnson County. All right, let's go back to the radar if we can, because I want to show you just reflectivity first. This is where the rain's coming down. This is a pretty good hail area right here, hail core. If you might see that, may not be showing up too well, Alex, in terms of our hail tracker yet, but nonetheless, we've got a pretty good hail right in through here. Here's Bluff City. So let's widen this out a bit. And again, as we do so, let's put the radar on first. There's your radar itself. And again, if we were to see a tornado, it's going to be down here in this area right there, as we may have a couplet going on. Let's look at the velocity here again, storm relative. And again, there it is. You're still seeing some broad circulation. And while we're doing this, let's get the bearings straight, Alex. You can definitely pick out the line. I'm going to have you draw the line because you can see it better on the computer. But right here is the Johnson County, Sullivan County line. All right, so this is moving right over Holston Mountain here. You can see the line Alex is drawing. This is your divider. Sullivan County, Johnson County, and then Carter County is coming in here as well. But there's our line. Here's the rotation, going to make its way right over Holston. Now, keep in mind, Holston's a bit higher. So, Alex, if you query the red here, let's zoom on down into this area and push it a little farther up the screen so I can see it better. But there's your rotation. Now, if we zoom in closer, we can see some of the roads. And again, this is going to go right over Holston and then up the valley there, up Shady Valley and so forth, that area. And this is what we look for. You can see that. And let's see how far we are from the radar now. How far is this from our radar that we're looking at?
Almost 70 miles. We're at 69.7 miles from the radar.
So we're at 70 miles from the radar.
Feet.
And how high are we?
About 5,000 feet.
5,000 feet. You're still seeing rotation. This, again, could be rotation in the sky, in the clouds. Now, let's switch gears and look at the Greenville, because it may show up here as well. We're going down to Greenville, Spartanburg radar. And here we'll see if we see a couplet at all. It may be a little too far. Not showing up too well.
There a little bit.
A little bit. Let's go to Jackson just to see. We're just checking our radars out to see if Morristown's showing up better. Yeah, it's Morristown. So we're going to go back to Morristown. And again, this is that area of concern, because you've got the radar still showing some type of rotation right there. And again, if you zoom in and put some roads on here, you can add some more towns and so forth. You can see Holston Mountain. This is going over Holston Mountain, and then it will make its way into parts of Johnson County. That's why you got the tornado warning for Johnson County, all this Sullivan, Carter, and Johnson until 11:45 tonight. And you can definitely see that little bit of rotation there. You know, when you go out in the Midwest, Oklahoma, it's extremely flat. Here we have a lot of mountains. happens. We're away from the radar, so you're not going to see that super, super tight couplet. First of all, because we're so far up, but second of all, because some of the topography, it's hard to see some of this, but there's that circulation we continue to watch coming right over the Holston Mountain area. And as we zoom on out, Alex, let's just double check. I want to look at the radar real quick just to see if anything else is coming in from the west. So go home, and we'll go look from the home viewpoint. We've got our cluster of storms here. Look at this, another line of thunderstorms coming on down the pike. I don't see any, you can turn the warnings on. Let's see if any of those are being warned on real quick, because we've got a tornado warning storm here, and these are flood warnings going up to our west because we've seen rain over the same area. Along with that, we've got that severe thunderstorm watch in yellow until 3 o'clock in the morning. So we've got a lot going on tonight, and if you zoom out even more and take a national radar, the front itself is still way back to our west. So this is all out ahead of that. He's going to go back even farther and hit the national view, hit the radar and national right here, national radar, and keep going back a little bit more. It might be right in through here.
Yeah,
so
I think that's where it is. From
it's
Lexington
still back
down
towards
to
Clarksville and Jackson. So until the front moves, so we got that chance of thunderstorms going on. All right, you can see our warning storm. Let's go back into the warning here. Parts of Sullivan and Carter and Johnson County. Here's that tornado warning again, right over Sullivan County. And we've been watching this. He's going to zoom in a little bit closer here, if you would, Alex, right over that tornado warning storm. And again, this is Sullivan County, right over Holston Mountain. It's about ready to push over the state, or the county line actually, into Johnson County. You can see the line right here. This is your line. Here's Carter County. You've got Johnson County over here. This line's going to make its way through across the bordering counties here. Yeah, let's look at storm velocity real quick, Alex. Again, just southeast of Bluff City.
Yep,
yeah, we've still got this rotation right here. That's that couplet we still are watching, because that's where we may, in fact, see a possibility for a tornado here. I'm looking here at. Let's see what they're doing. They've got severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm trying to see. Yeah, they're going to keep that. I'm just watching new warnings being issued here. And again, this is a couplet right there. You're looking at right over the Holston Mountain area.
It looks very broad at this
broad
point.
circulation.
Yep.
And you're up high. All right,
Yep.
Laura, what you got?
All right, so from our Facebook comments, a lot of people have been including all of their storm reports that they're seeing currently in their hometown. And what we're currently seeing is that a couple of people have gotten very impressive photos and videos of lightning. And we have a possible, possible rotation is what we can see in the clouds by some of our viewers, as well as some photos of lightning striking a power center. I'm trying to find where that comment was.
That might have
the new
caused
one
power
just
outages.
came in. But definitely a lot of lightning by the Johnson City golf courses, and we've definitely a couple of people have actually seen lightning strikes to those higher towers that we saw on the Bays Mountain camera a little bit earlier ago. And that's what we're seeing in the Facebook comments right now. But also a couple of people are reporting power outages. It's not yet updated in our system quite yet, but once it does, I will definitely give you another wave.
All right, Laurel Blanchard with us tonight. Alex is running our radar tonight, and you're looking here at the whole complex of storms. A lot of lightning also ramping up here to the north, Alex, back into areas of south and West Virginia. Let's widen this view just for a second, because we have the tornado warning, and that's in effect for Sullivan County, but not so wide. But look at the lightning here. Let's see if we see any velocity going on there just outside of Bristol now, east of Bristol. And again, where the lightning is, I'm not seeing much in the way of rotation. That broad center of circulation picks up nicely right here. It's just been sitting there, hasn't it? It's not moving much. And that's a look at 10:55. That's what time it is. So it's just sitting there.
25 miles an hour. It's
yeah, they're moving. It's like you driving a car, Alex.
25 miles an hour. That's not like me driving a car.
I'm kidding.
We won't talk about how fast I drive.
We got some humor once in a while. There is that complex. It's moving 25 miles per hour. It's not racing on. That's why the tornado warnings has been so long and extended now till 11. What was that?
11:45.
11:45. Because this cell, they're going to warn on it until it gets all the way to the North Carolina border. I'm most likely sure of that. So there's that rotation we're seeing, and you can see that. Let's look at the hail path real quick. I don't know if we have any hail coming out of this. We might have some hail here. Neither one.
It's not being
no
detected
hail.
very well.
All right, so let's go back to that center circulation and look at the shear path, because we've been watching this storm all the way from Hancock County, Hawkins County.
It is
look at this.
impressive.
It's
Look at
actually
that.
extended all the way. That one particular storm warned on, and the warnings went up here through Hawkins County and then right into Sullivan County and now right over to Johnson County. That is the area where we've seen some red. We've seen the rotation. That's why they had the tornado warnings out, and that's what we're looking at here. These are the warned areas that we've been watching. Now let's zoom back into the Bluff City area again, because here too, look, we got another line of thunderstorms coming in, Alex. Don't want to forget about this. Look at these. The concern here is going to be flooding. I mean, we're going to have some massive amounts of rain.
And that's what we talked
about. We may
about
pick up 1 to 2 inches, and as we said throughout the evening newscast, you can see rain over the same area. So if you're in a flood-prone area, you got to pay attention to the weather, because that is coming down pretty good there. Some locally heavy rainfall coming on down in Lee County all the way down into the Knoxville area. Let's go back to the tornado warning, Alex.
They just expanded the severe thunderstorm watch, Mark.
Yeah, expanded it or extended it?
Expanded it
Okay.
up into Smith County.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put the watches back on. Let's see if you can just do the watch, the
just a moment
severe
here.
thunderstorm watch. We're looking at some of the flood warnings and the tornado warnings here. Alex is just redoing our radar for a second, and let's take everything off except the. There you go. Here's your new watch. You can expand this, make it large. Look how big this severe thunderstorm watch is. Now it goes up to Roanoke. And how long is this in effect for?
That's
in effect till
4 o'clock
in the morning.
Yep.
But ours ends right here at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's correct, yeah.
As this whole line, this is probably going to be the more potent line again, another line of thunderstorms, and that's why they're keeping that till 3 o'clock. All right, let's go back, take the watch off. We'll put the warnings, tornado warnings only back on. You can get rid of the flood warnings because we know we have the potential of flooding here. Here are your tornado warnings here. Again, as we zoom on down to Sullivan, Carter, and Johnson County. This is that tornado warning. And again, good reason for that. We've seen a bit of some cycling here, rotation if you've been outside. Many of you, I have not looked at email. I've been right here on the air. But we may be getting videos of some email of some of the clouds rotating. And that, again, you can see that rotation right there. Before you get that off, Alex, I do want to highlight the fact that we have tornado warnings here. Click on this warning here, Mountain City. That's Johnson County. In on that. Carter County isn't on that if you click on Carter County, and also Sullivan County. This is a tornado warning. It's in effect until 11:45. If you get severe weather in your area, as we've been saying, seek shelter indoors, away from windows, lowest level of your house, hallway, closet, or bathroom, away from the windows. Sometimes the windows get blown in if you have a tornado. But there's that broad center of circulation. Here's Bristol. It's southeast of Bristol, Deauville, northwest of you folks. If you can zoom in a little bit farther, right where my hand is, Alex, and see some of the roads and some of the locations here, if we have those right over this area. Housley, you're looking at Sadie here, Beulah Dean, right in this general area. That's where you got to be on guard. I'd say anywhere right in through here, because that storm is going to move towards the east and slowly northeastward, moving at 25. So here are the towns, Beulah Dean. Look at that, just outside of Sadie, you may actually be seeing some rotation with that. We still have a broad circulation. And you know what, Alex, I said this the other night. Sometimes we get the mountains, and you may see this form a couplet just over the mountains into North Carolina. Sometimes that happens because you get lift from the mountains, and things like that happen. So we're watching that broad circulation right here. This again, a tornado warning. It's 11 o'clock. This warning is in effect until 11:45. Our policy here at News Channel 11, we stay on the air continuously for tornado warnings. We got to keep you safe, and that's what we're looking at here. This is where we have that couplet. I don't think we've had any reported tornadoes according to Laurel, but we've had some people saying they've seen the clouds rotating and vivid cloud to ground lightning. The lightning's been off the chart tonight. Just incredible lightning here. And again, there's that cell right there.
Yeah, I
as
think
we're
this
watching
is in that when we're talking about supercells. Remember, we're talking about they cycle. So this is where the circulation has wrapped itself up and has basically choked itself out, but because this is still going on, it could form a new circulation, and that new circulation can then take over and continue to make this storm rotate with tornado potential. So that is why they have extended this tornado warning till 11:45. It's moving at 25 miles an hour. So the storm is not moving all that fast, and while it may not look impressive now, it is something that we have to watch because it can quickly reorganize and then once again be capable of producing a tornado. And so that's why they've continued this. Mark?
Yeah, it's like a little engine here. And the interesting thing is you can see we're now getting some of the winds here. He put rotation on there. We're seeing some broad circulation. What's interesting, Alex, if you query some of the cloud tops, you're going to have to go into national for that. So we're going to go national and then just Yeah, just a national
that's
viewpoint.
definitely tightened up.
Yeah, this is tightening up again. So now we're going to query some of the red here. And again, this looks to be right over. Are we into Carter County, Johnson? We're into Johnson County.
I think we're in, yeah, there's Doville,
Yeah,
so we're very close.
Look at this
I think
now.
we're in
Now we're ramping it up a little bit again. So Alex has queried some of the bright
that
red.
is northeast Carter.
We're in Carter County,
Yep.
right up Stony Creek,
Yes.
right there. So we're right over Stony Creek here. You can see the road. If you zoom in, you can see the road there, Alex. Let's put the road on there. Leave that on, and let's look at some of the roads. There's Sadie right there, right over Sadie and Carter. This is up Stony Creek. This is where you're going to see broad circulation, broad rotation, and you got to seek shelter immediately. This is still a tornado warning, and it's now in effect for northeastern Carter County. Sullivan County, you're still on that. Johnson County, still in on the tornado warning. And again, this right over the Sadie area, still broad center of rotation. So if we were to stand outside, you'd look up, you'd see the clouds rotating, and that tells us, according to our Viper radar estimates here, that we do have rotation in the clouds aloft. Not saying we have a confirmed tornado, we do not have that, but we do definitely have the rotation there. The couplet is there where the red and green are coming together, and that gives us a pretty good idea where that tornado signature would be. And again, right in through here. Let's take that off for a second, show the reflectivity of the radar, because right over that region, again, this is, you oftentimes hear it gets really quiet. That's the reason. Most of the energy is up here. And so down here is a quiet part where your tornado would most likely occur, and that's why you're seeing that little appendage hanging down there. So right in here, right here's appendage, and look here, Alex is going to put the reflectivity into storm relative, which is our velocity. Look at this, it's ramping up here, Alex. While you're on there, just click that bright red right there real quick, just to get an idea. Probably 20, 30, and there you go, 35. It's increasing a little bit here.
Yep.
All right, and now you're coming into the mountain zone, so
About
that's
65 knots of shear.
Yeah, shear 65, and that's what we're looking at. It's strengthening now once again, and that's why that tornado warning has again been allowed to extend until 11:45 tonight. Here is Doville, and we're going into closer here. You're up Stony Creek into Carter County. Now, what's going to happen, as Alex, if we take this off just for a second, all your data over here, and just slide the map a little bit farther, I want to point out you're not going to get much because you're over the mountain ridge here. You're over Holston, and then on the other side, well, we've got Holston here, I'm sorry, up Stony Creek, and now you're going over some of the higher terrain. So Doville and Pandora and Damascus, you folks are going to watch this system coming your way as well. And we're watching, Alex is showing the time, he's going to do a timestamp here. So Beulah Dean, at about 11 or 12 after the hour, we're at 11:04 now. So we've got, sparsely population out here, but these are the communities you got to watch out for. Sadie, Beulah Dean, Pandora, Damascus, Little Doe. You see your timestamp here. This is where it's going to. It's going to move right into parts of Johnson County, out of Carter County now. And again, that's that tornado warning we're looking at. So back to the, let's look at shear on here, the shear rate, just to see what the rate is. If we have any, shear just itself, by itself, shear right there. And again, yeah, there's not a whole big signature there, but it's there. It's something there. And again, back to storm relative. This is the area we're looking at, and right there, possibly if you zoom in closer, you can see the towns in here again. You may want to add some more. Are you down to the lowest?
I can add some more here. Give me.
Yeah, we're going to add some more towns and locations on here so you get an idea where we're looking at. And again, this is Sadie right here, Beulah Dean right here, and you can definitely see this right in through here. This is that broad circulation that we continue to watch. And again, they're keeping that tornado warning up until 11:45. I've not seen that cancel yet. And again, this right here, you're looking up Stony Creek here, now going to push over into Johnson County here very shortly. And as he's put some towns on here, some roads on here as well. Let's zoom out just a minute and look at Sullivan County. Go back to your radar. And we'll just look at radar for a minute, because when you look at radar, I do want to highlight the fact that just looking at the radar, this doesn't look as ominous as it was, but it's still producing that. We're going to zoom out even farther. Let's hit the home button a second, because I want to point out what's coming our way. Look at this next line of showers and thunderstorms.
Hawkins County. Yep.
This one's
already starting to get it.
Yeah, this one's producing the tornado. So you turn the warnings on, you'll see that tornado warning still in effect for Johnson, Carter, and Sullivan County. And then we've got this whole line here. But the good news is, if you turn on all the warnings, I don't see any severe weather warnings like we had earlier, because the atmosphere has already been worked over.
Watch.
So yeah, this, you see the one I'm talking about? Alex, so
Yep.
we've already worked over the atmosphere. So these are just going to be general thunderstorms. We're getting warnings back towards Knoxville, but this is what we're looking at. You notice it's all by itself out here now in the prime conditions, especially northwestern North Carolina, where we've not had rain tonight so far. We had rain earlier, but let's zoom back in. This is that tornado warning storm until 11:45, Sullivan County. I know that it's news time. We're still on the air because we've got this warning. We still have to talk about the tornado warning here. And again, he's zooming on down. Here's Mountain City. Let's keep Mountain City in the viewpoint. Right there's Mountain City, and you got Shady Valley, surrounding areas here. We're going to look at the storm relative on here as well, and there you can see it. Here is Mountain City, Deauville. There's that rotation right in through here that we're talking a large area of rotation that we're looking at. You know what, Alex, unless that's the red here, you want to take that warning off. So I'm seeing some reds in here. And let's see if, all right, yeah, that had me a little concerned there. But this is that broad circulation that Alex was just drawing there. And here's Deauville, and here's Mountain City. Now, what I want to do, if Alex would do this real quick, is we're just going to take it back 15 minutes just to see the path of this.
Just a bit.
So stop right there. That's good. Let's just, here it is right here. He's going to take you back. I want to show you what direction. See how it's moving more? It was moving east, southeast. Now it's moving due east again.
Northeast, maybe? A little
Yeah,
northeast?
so it's going. So you folks in Mountain City, Johnson County, you're under the gun now. We've got this tornado warning coming your way. This is Johnson County line here. So Deauville, north of you folks, it's going to pass just to your north. But if you're in Mountain City, keep an eye to the sky here. Laurel's got some new information for us as well.
Alrighty, so once again, monitoring our Facebook Live on the Storm Team 11 page, we can definitely see lots of lightning strikes all across our region. Some areas are reporting some very heavy rain caused by all of these storms. But also, I do want to mention that even though our power outage graphic has not updated yet, we are starting to get reports of power outages across the Boones Creek area and parts of Carter County as well. So just make sure you are being weather aware. Once again, some areas are reporting across the Boones Creek area, starting to get some power outages there. And as we also take a look through our email, we can see some areas in Colonial Heights starting to get power outages reported as well. Currently not seeing anything on our newly updated on our weather graphics because of these power outages, just because there aren't enough of them, but we are currently getting reports of power outages across Boones Creek and Colonial Heights across Washington County.
Yeah, we usually have to get about 1% for the warning to all the power outages to show up across the region. So this is what we're looking at, Alex. The good news is when you look at this image, we're not seeing near the amount of lightning. Well, we had incredible amounts of lightning. Yeah, we're getting some strikes, about 5 strikes, and most of that right around that center of that storm. And again, you're seeing, you know why we're getting lightning in here, don't you? We got a little hail core right there too. So that's interacting with the ice in the clouds. So nonetheless, we're going to take the warning. Here's your warning right here. Mountain City, Deauville, really Johnson County, parts of Carter County, and Sullivan County. That's your warning. We're going to take the warning off because I want to show you this broad circulation, which is right here. That's that broad center of circulation. Alex is going to take the colors off here so you can actually see the rotation that we're looking at. Trust me, it's very, very broad. So you can take the colors off there, Alex, if you can. All right, all right. Here's your rotation now. We're going to do something really neat. This is your rotation right here. Alex, you can circle where my finger, look, we've got some bright green up here. So that's a large circulation right here. See how big that circulation is, Alex? It goes from here all the way to there. Now, let's switch gears and go down to Greenville real quick and just see if they are picking this up yet. We're looking from South Carolina, their radar, just to see if we see that circulation in the atmosphere. Yeah, you can actually see a little bit of it. So what's going to be interesting is once this moves over the border of Tennessee into North Carolina, I'm going to be curious to see if we see a couple that's still showing up there. But all right, that's that center of circulation. You can take that down. And let's go back to the Morristown radar real quick, because here we're going to go back to Morristown reflectivity and then our storm relative. You can see the storm right here. And again, there is still a couple going on, Alex, right there. So if you're in that area, if you're in areas right up Stony Creek over towards Mountain City, you can still see a quick spin up of a tornado. If you'll take your white off there, Alex, you can see that. That's the center of circulation right in here. Let's zoom in a little bit closer so you can see the road and some of the towns there. Yeah, there's your road right there, right up Stony Creek. All right, Laurel.
And
Alex, if you could switch over to links 1 real quick for me.
There you go.
Power outages have updated. Washington County hasn't linked into numbers quite yet, but currently seeing about 300 customers without power tonight in Hawkins County and currently 700 people without power in Sullivan County. So as we do take a closer look at these counties in particular, currently starting in Sullivan County, 700 people without power. That's about 1.5 of people without power across Sullivan County this evening. And as we do take a look across Hawkins County, we can see about 300 people without power, which is about 1% of that population. Mark?
All right, let's look at Mountain City. You can see the rain really coming down here in Mountain City. And as we look at the radar, Alex, punch your graphic up. We're not seeing a little bit of lightning is what you're looking at. We got a lot of bugs flying around here too. So it's kind of hard to think what the rain is. We're just starting to see some of the rain come down, but a lot of bugs there. We've had a lot of lightning here as well. When you look at this viewpoint, it almost looks like a movie set because the way it illuminates with the lightning here. And the good news is for you folks in Johnson County, you're not seeing near the lightning that we've had earlier. All right, take it from that vantage point. Let's go back to the actual radar, Alex. And as we look at the radar, here is that storm right here. Let's pull it out a little bit so we can see. Here's Shady Valley right here. You're looking at Mountain City. Mountain City's over here. Let's show some of the towns again in this general area right there. Let's look now at the storm relative and see the velocity. We're still seeing that spin there. Yeah, it's still there, Alex. It's just sitting here and spinning right there, broad circulation. It's going to continue to make its way slowly east and a little bit northeast. This is moving at 25 miles per hour now. And again, they're still continuing that. It's they're still putting another warning out. They're continuing that tornado warning here for Sullivan County, Carter County, and Johnson County. Most likely, though, Alex, I'd say another 10 minutes or 15, this will be all of Johnson County. I'm sure they'll let the warning go for Sullivan County, but that's because we still have this broad center. It's a very large circulation right here inside that thunderstorm complex. Let's look at the CC on there just to see. We're high up here. If you pull out just a little bit, give us a wider view, and go back a little bit. Let's see if, well, first of all, let's circle the storm relative on here, and then we'll go back about 15 minutes. You got to circle it first because there's so much noise on here. All right, here's that circulation right here.
Take some of these places.
He's going to go back. You can actually circle this area, and then we'll go back 15 just to see the CC on that. So circle this right here. Broad circulation, generally. Okay. Now we're going to go back in time and look at that circulation to see if we, all right, stop right there. So let's start about right here with CC and see if we see anything. And what we're looking for, you may have leaves, trees, stuff like that, tree leaves come up. Yeah, see, there's something right there, Alex. You see that right there? Even though it's not well defined back here.
It forward.
And now you're going to move it forward. And yeah, there's a lot of noise. I don't see it like it. There's something there, but not. It's hard to see that. And given our topography, it's hard to see that. All right. So back to the velocity mode. We're going to show you again where this couplet is because it's been making its way through areas right over the mountains.
Oh, that's not
you're way
current.
back
Give me
there.
just
Let's
a
go.
moment. There we go.
Let's go back all the way back to Johnson County.
We are
again.
current now.
That's current. All right. So give me some, there you go. All right. And lift that map just a little farther north. And what I want to do is expand it out so we can see Mountain City in this shot. Here is Sadie right here. We're going to turn our attention back this way
Mountain
now
City's right here.
because here's Mountain City. So Alex, we've got, it doesn't look as well developed as it has.
It's very broad.
It looks like it's weakening, but keep in mind, we're getting farther and farther away from that radar set. If you quick look over to Blacksburg, you may be able to see some rotation here as well. This, again, that large circulation, not seeing anything that stands out to me, Alex.
No.
It's not. It looks like it has weakened considerably. You're on Blacksburg now. Let's go back to Morristown.
I was going to check Greenville. No.
Yeah, there's just not. It's not showing up as it was. So even Morristown, right there, it's just broad. Because how high are you from the radar? If you click on one of these pixel queries, how high is that?
We're about 6,000 feet elevation, about 80 miles from radar.
Yeah, we're 80 miles away, 6,000 feet up. Your radar beam's going this way, ground's going that way, so you're shooting way over up into the tops of the in the mid-levels of this thunderstorm complex. So, again, that's where that rotation would be. He could put on the warning again, just a tornado warning. We're still under a tornado warning for another 30 minutes. So they may allow that to expire. I've not seen that. There's still a last check here, continuing that. But there's that tornado warning again, Sullivan County, Carter County, into Johnson County, because we've got the this broad center of circulation right here. This is what we're looking at. You know, we've had tornadoes in Johnson County, not unusual. We've had them happen. You got the mountains there. We've had tornadoes in the valleys over top the mountaintops as well. So that's what we're looking at. There's that tornado warned storm again coming right into Johnson County. And again, if we click on this area here and look at some of the winds to see if we see any rotation there, now you're getting a little bit, what were you on, regular velocity?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing some of the winds aloft here, and then we switch over to our more detailed mode to see if we see any. There's just broad circulation there, Alex. I would not be surprised to see how long this lasts with that warning, but nonetheless, that's
starting
what
to gust out just a little bit, because if you look at the velocity, this is going to be right along the leading edge of that.
Right here.
Yep.
Right down here.
So,
you may get some of the gust winds. And if we take our Mountain City camera, if you have that, guys, I don't know if we could take that.
50,
you're looking at some of the winds
40,
coming out. Now, what's interesting also, Alex, the thunderstorm itself might be collapsing.
Yep.
So if you get that and you go back to your velocity mode right here, and this is where he's picking up some of the winds. I don't know if we can get the Mountain City camera, but if you see that, we have a flag in that particular camera. You may be able to see the winds gusting a bit here with this little outflow. We're going to take the camera right here. And again, let me step over this way. I'm not seeing the flag now.
It's at the bottom of that hill, I believe.
It's at the bottom. It's way down there. And I don't see a lot of wind here. It's just some bugs flying around, and there are your low clouds in the valley. So. And the good news is that lightning is not near as impressive as it was earlier, so that's been dying down too. So again, that's Mountain City. All right, let's take you back into the vantage point again. We'll take you back to storm relative, because this is where if we saw a tornado, you'd see it right here. There's still something, Alex. It's broad, and it keeps popping and going up and down. That's the interesting part about this.
Right, and that's what we call a cycling supercell, as we've been talking about. So you see it strengthen, it'll produce a new circulation. That circulation gets wrapped up within the center of the storm, and then you see a new circulation be produced in the same storm. It's why it's called a cycle. It goes through a whole life cycle, and that's what we study, of course, in meteorology, is the life cycle there of a tornadic supercell.
Yeah, it cycles up, cycles down, cycles up. Yep. We've been seeing that throughout the night. All right, while we're still watching that, let's give our viewers what's to come still back to our west, because we still have quite a line of showers and thunderstorms. This all the way from Wise down to Morristown, that's a line. I think this may be the last big hurrah. We would not rule out thunderstorms overnight, but as that continues to make its way down across the region, Alex, this is going to move in. You can loop that and just give us a 15, 20-minute loop of all these storms. Everything moving off towards the east, northeast. And again, you see how the lightning's ramping up again back to our west. My concern now, we had the tornado warning still in effect till 10:45, but my concern is these are going to produce some locally heavy amounts of rain. We've already had heavy rain from this morning. Parts of Greene County, inch and a half of rain easily this morning. And now we've seen very heavy rain through Hancock and Hawkins, Sullivan County. Look at that. Just recently, these are 3-hour totals here. The yellow up to 2 inches here, easily back into areas around Morristown. So with this next line coming through, that's the other concern. We could pick up some localized flooding. Let's zoom back down here, because we are still looking at the tornado warning here. You can put the warning on, and that's again for areas right through Sullivan County coming into Johnson County. There's that little tornado warning. Don't let your guard down. Don't think it's over, because we're still seeing a little couplet here. It's not very well defined, Alex, but it does tell us that storm is still rotating.
We're so high up, as you mentioned, Mark. I mean, we're 6,000 feet up in the atmosphere.
Right. And so even if it rotates aloft, that could still come down to the ground. So you're seeing rotation aloft. This is about 6,000 feet, and we're over 80 miles now from the actual radar site. So keep that vantage point. Let's go to the other two radars to our east and south and see if we're picking this up again. And there's the rotation we're looking at with one radar. There is from Greenville, Spartanburg, and now we'll look from Roanoke or the Blacksburg area. You can see if we're seeing some rotation here, and maybe a little bit, but nonetheless, it's still showing up better on the Morristown site as well. We're continuing to watch this tornado warned storm here, and this again really coming out of Carter County, right over the border into Johnson County. You can see that.
By the latest scan there, Mark.
Yeah, and you see this is Carter right here. So it's coming into Johnson County now, and he's talking about a possibility. It's getting a little closer here. If you do me a favor, Alex, take that off right there. Let me show you something. If you draw a line across this red right here, draw a line right there.
Draw a line across it.
Across this and across the green southern border, and then go back a frame or two and see if that's gotten closer together. I think it has.
Yeah, let's see.
So you can see what we're trying to do is see if the couplet, see it was close. There was broad there. is closer here, and now as we're coming in, you can see how it's trying to get a little more developed here.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, over Johnson County. So you folks in Mountain City, you need to take shelter. This could still produce a tornado. It's coming right towards Mountain City and surrounding areas. You can zoom in a little bit closer, Alex, because here you can look right. There's still rotation right there, Alex.
Oh,
it's coming up
100%.
through Little
Yep.
Doe and Doe Valley Road. You see that right there, Pandora, and right into Mountain City, right here. You've got that rotation just off to your west. Yeah, it's getting a little better organized, but you're up higher aloft in the clouds. And naturally, we're seeing a little bit of some hail. We're not seeing much lightning, but there are some lightning strikes there. So if we can, let's look at that Mountain City camera, because here's Mountain City. The rotation is back to the south and west. So as we watch this, you see the bit of velocity here. There is that broad circulation. I mean, that's a very broad circulation. You may see some low-hanging clouds from that, too. Here comes our Mountain City camera. And again, you're seeing some of the rain trying to come down now. We've got some bugs on the camera, beautiful lightning there. I say beautiful, I'm a meteorologist. I never really get to experience all the lightning. It's been incredible from what I'm hearing outside tonight. Now we've got some bugs. Look at the bugs out there. But nonetheless, you're seeing some of the rain, some of the bugs, and that incredible lightning here in Johnson County. That's just outside of Mountain City. It's a mountaintop outside of town. So you can see the 4-lane in the daytime right down through here. What's that?
I was showing that this does include, the tornado warning does include Mountain City.
Yes, and that's why we're going back to the map. Let's look at that. Yeah, look at the rain and bugs now. It looks like the wind's picking up here, Alex. I'm trying to see if that tree's blowing right there. A lot of bugs, and that may be rain coming down too. The rain's coming down heavy now.
Some rain, yeah.
So here comes your rain, right? Look at this rain. It looks like snow, right? Look at that. It looks like a movie setting. I just say that, I know. But because of the lightning, it's just incredible to watch. And your rain's coming down now. The bugs are flying around the camera because you've got some lighting on there. Let's go ahead and show you the radar, and you can definitely see this. The rain right over Mountain City now, and the southwestern flank of this is what we're watching. There's a good hail core. May see some light hail or small hail from that. And then down here near Pandora, Damascus, that area is where we most likely still have that rotation going on. In association with the hail, too, you guys. You can see that. Let's look at the storm relative.
Well, there's hail. Let me take the warning off.
Not much hail on here at all. So let's go to storm relative. And again, there it is. That rotation is still there. It's been hanging tough. It's gone all the way from Hawkins County, Sullivan County, all the way now to Johnson County, and that's why that tornado warning is still up here. And I'm seeing some of the impressive flood warnings going on back to our west, so we'll see how that plays out for us too with the heavy rain coming in.
I will say what it looks like, Mark, is remember we talked about how it's kind of cycles. So you've got the old updraft and downdraft kind of have basically ended and a new updraft, new downdraft. This is part of that cycle. So where you're seeing the intense hail, that's that new updraft that has gone up into the supercell. We're getting the backside of the storm to rotate around it and to wrap itself back up again. And so that's why we're seeing the storm relative velocity starting to increase yet once again. So again, this is a tornado warning for Johnson County there, just parts of Carter, but the circulation is now into Johnson County, just to the southwest of Mountain City. That tornado warning goes until 11:45 p.m. this evening. You need to be in your tornado safe place. That's the lowest level or the centermost point of your house. If you don't have a basement, get into the centermost point of the house, an interior bathroom, an interior closet. Those are all very important places to keep yourself safe. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, that's a tornado warning till 11:45, and that does, again, the circulation is in Johnson County, so that's just to the southwest of Mountain City.
City right here. Let me tell you also, Alex, we've been watching this storm complex producing the tornado warning, and now for our friends to our west, I'm just getting reports. Cock County, Granger County, Greene County, Hamlin, Hawkins, and Jefferson, all under severe thunderstorm warnings. So go back to that view, go home, and you can see that. All these are going to be warned on. You got to put the warnings on here. All these being warned on again right here for the possibility of severe weather. And again, that's in effect for Greene County and Cock County, Hawkins County, and Jefferson County. That is a severe thunderstorm watch warning now in effect until 12:15. And these could be producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail. So we've got a whole nother line we're watching that's going to make its way across our region. And we're still dealing with the tornado warning. What's interesting about this, Alex, there's your warning. National Weather Service office, different office, issuing a severe thunderstorm warning now.
That's good news.
As that will cross the border into North Carolina. So even though we have broad rotation, it's not that well defined. We'll zoom on down before we get to Greene County. Let's zoom on down into Johnson County. This cell is going to move over the border into areas of northwestern North Carolina. You can see this Ashwaubenon, Avery County area. You're looking at Jefferson, North Carolina here. There's a storm complex. Tornado warned for Johnson County. Still some broad circulations, very broad. Doesn't mean there's not going to be a tornado, but there's chances. Don't look that great right now, Alex. But nonetheless, this is in effect until 11:45. That most likely will expire the minute it moves over the state line.
I agree.
And then what's that?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, and once it moves over the state line, that's not our coverage area, so to speak. So that's when the tornado warning for us will be over as it moves out of Johnson County. But here's Mountain City. I just want to give you a heads up. Alex has been talking about this broad center of circulation outside into areas of Shady Valley, south of you folks, Damascus, Little Doe, into Neva, and surrounding areas. Got to be on the lookout. You cannot rule out a tornado, even though it's a broad circulation. We can't rule out that possibility of a tornado warning or tornado in your area. You've got the warning now. There's Mountain City now. This tornado warning until 11:45. If you're in this area, threatening weather is approaching, you're hearing the winds pick up, seek shelter indoors, away from windows, lowest level of your house, hallway, closet, or a bathroom. That's where you want to be. And we're still seeing a bit of some hail core with that as well. But that little pendage kind of hanging down. You see how we get these little pendages? You're going to get some winds out of this as well. And we look just at the general velocity here. You'll see what we're talking about here. As Alex goes and just shows us the general velocity, you'll see some of the bright red here with this, and that's because we're seeing some of the winds coming out of that thunderstorm complex and kind of coming out. And what happens when the winds blow out of the thunderstorm, sometimes they take trees down, and that's why we're looking at maybe, but keep in mind, we're way up there in the atmosphere. This is 50-mile-an-hour winds at about 6,000 feet. Is that correct?
We're almost at 6,800 feet
now.
now.
Yeah, about 7,000 feet. So the winds 7,000 feet are pretty strong. But if you get that thunderstorm that taps into that energy, some of that gets pulled down to the ground. And again, that's a tornado warning we're looking at there for Johnson County. All right, and broad circulation that continues there. Let's take it from that vantage point so we know we have a tornado warning. I just want to give you the heads up on what's coming our way back to the west. And again, these are the lines of storms we're watching. One little cluster of storms right here trying to pop up shower there, Washington County, and this will be our next line of showers and thunderstorms. Most likely we'll not stay on the air for that. We're going to be done as soon as this tornado warning is over for our region, because these are just going to produce wind damage, possibility of heavy rain, which could result in some localized flooding. It's about 11:30. We're watching that carefully. You got the warnings back on, Alex. Let's see if that tornado warning is still in effect. I'm not seeing a cancellation of that here, but nonetheless, we're watching it carefully to see if, in fact, anything's been issued here. And all I see is that new warning, that new severe thunderstorm warning for these areas back towards Hamlin County, Greene County. Be on the lookout for that. There's that tornado warning again. We'll give you another look here because we've still got 15 minutes left, Alex, in this warning. And you can see that. And why we've got this on this viewpoint, let's look at a whole shear swath so you can see how far that complex, this one thunderstorm, made its way all the way outside of Sneedville, right across the Tri-City Airport, all the way to Mountain City. Look at that. Good shear, good rotation with that. That's why we've had numerous tornado warnings. We at least saw the couplet, the shear, the spin in the atmosphere, the rotation, all the way through Hawkins County, Sullivan County, right across southern Sullivan County towards the Tri-City Airport, into parts of Carter, and now into Johnson County. And again, we'll zoom in, show you that area one more time because we'll see if there's rotation. Already issuing severe thunderstorm warnings here in northwestern North Carolina, and good reason for that because that's going to move right over the border, Alex. I'll let you zoom on that as I think Laurel's got some pictures we're going to show you real quick too coming up here as I'm just checking some of this info out real quick. All right, let me go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, Alex, if you could switch me over real quick to links 1. First off, I do want to check those power outages one more time as we do take a closer look. As of right now, we can see about 300 people without power tonight in Hawkins County, 700 people tonight without power in Sullivan County. We are once again getting reports of people who are in Johnson City, as well as Boones Creek, as well as Colonial Heights in Washington County, and those areas are without power as well. So making sure you are staying weather aware. And once again, we are in our Facebook Live on Storm Team 11 WJHL, so make sure you are replying to any comments on there, making sure you are communicating with us to make sure you are also communicating that you don't have any power, as well as your storm threats as well. We would love to hear about them. Also, seeing reports of parts of Washington County, Virginia, about 100 people without power now coming up on our system right now. Once again, make sure you are staying weather aware because this storm has definitely packed a punch. As we do also take a look, a lot of viewers have been sending photos into our email. Take a look at this. Tyler Gabby from Piney Flat sending amazing video of some lightning flashes. You can see right there. Really can see the bolts of that lightning as well. And as we do take also a look around the region, Wendy Gass from Stony Creek sending in lightning, almost making it look like it's daytime. Paul Seal sending in more lightning video from that earlier storm, producing lots and lots of lightning. And that's what we've been seeing from a lot of our viewers, videos and photos of all the lightning that we can see. Andrew from Jonesboro, we can see a beautiful flash of lightning there, and you can see those scud clouds as well moving underneath that storm. Also taking a look, Jeremiah from Boones Creek sending in his lightning video as well. Amazing, amazing video. And I believe with this video, you can see an absolutely gorgeous flash of lightning. And you can even see the bolt with that as well. One more before we send it back off to Mark and Alex. We can see also Jeff Snyder from Boones Creek sending in another photo from Boones Creek. Once again, absolutely gorgeous photo of that lightning and those scud clouds right behind that storm. Guys?
All right, Alex, if you can, let's go look at northwestern North Carolina, the storm there. You'll have to switch over, Alex, our radar links there. We're looking at the severe thunderstorm warning now. This will be in effect for Ashe and Watauga County until 12:45. They have tagged a possible tornado with that as we are still looking at that tornado warned storm. And again, that warning for Ashe, Watauga County, North Carolina will be in effect until 12:45. It does have a tornado tag with that as well. So it could, in fact, produce a tornado. We're still looking at the tornado warning here. Taking to Mountain City, look at our camera here. As we're looking at Mountain City, you're definitely seeing the rain coming down. Look at this. Just looks like a blizzard, right? You got bugs flying. You got the heavy rain coming down here. Alex, let's look at the rainfall last 3 hours. You'll start to see, look at this rain, just incredible amounts of rain there in the Mountain City area. This is still a tornado warning. It's still in effect until 11:45.
That's an inch of rain.
Yeah, this, how much?
That's an inch of rain.
Yeah,
in the
look at
last
our
3
radar
hours.
here,
Oh,
and look at the wind blowing here, Alex. You see that right there?
Yeah.
My concern is you're getting high winds here in Mountain City. Let's look first of all at the rain that Alex has on his radar map, and you'll switch over to the radar. There it is. This is what we're seeing. This is already coming into Mountain City now, but let's go back to storm relative just to see where that couplet is. Yeah, look at this, Alex, right over Mountain City.
Is our camera south of this city?
Dude, it's still picking up that rotation right there. And this is that rotation. You got the camera. Let's look at the camera if we can again. Camera's probably right up through here.
Okay.
Can we get that Mountain City camera back up again? Because there's that broad circulation. Your winds are definitely going to be picking up in Mountain City if you're not seeing that already. I don't know if we can take the Mountain City camera, guys, or not.
Up on here.
If you've got it back on here, all right, here it comes. We're picking that up again. Look at this, like a hurricane, guys. This is that rotation right there, Alex, coming right over Mountain City. So whether or not you're seeing a tornado, you get the high winds in association with that, and those winds are whipping right here. You're seeing some of the heavier down. Look at this, the rain's almost going sideways with the winds here. That is some oppressive wind, some oppressive rainfall. Back to regular velocity, Alex. Let's just look at the velocity over Mountain. That's incredible right there.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if some trees come down with that. Let's look at Mountain City on the radar and look at just, this is what we're looking at. Here's Mountain City. Camera's probably right in through here, but look, we're getting winds. These are elevated now in the cloud tops. How high is this? Probably 7,000, 7,500?
Yeah, about 7,200 feet.
Yeah, 7,200 feet thereabouts. We're seeing winds 40 to maybe up to 50 miles per hour. And some of that's already getting transported down to the ground. So you see the radar right here. Let's see if we have any velocity. There's Mountain City, and that little core is still right in through here. That's where that rotation is. Now let's, if we can, we're going to keep going back to that camera because it's impressive. There's that broad center of circulation. I think the camera's on the north end of Mountain City, and nonetheless, there's that rotation. Yes, it's broad, but it's still there.
broad.
You may be getting some trees coming down because look at this. As we take into the camera here in Mountain City, we've certainly been watching some of the winds coming down here and the heavy amounts of rain. You're getting some very heavy rainfall, easy half-inch to an inch with some of these showers and storms that are making their way right over Johnson County. Mountain City, you are in on it now. This is going to make its way slowly but surely to the state line. Ashe and Watauga counties are next in North Carolina. They are issuing you a severe thunderstorm warning until 12:45, but that also includes a tag for a possible tornado there. So we're watching that cell right now over Mountain City. You're looking at the camera here just outside of downtown Mountain City.
Impressive there, Mark. So we're looking 7,500 feet up in the atmosphere.
Let's
If
look
you
at
go
his
back to
radar.
if you go back to radar there. So we're looking at 7,500 feet in the atmosphere, and we're still detecting rotation. That
Yeah.
means this storm is rotating all the way up to 7,500 feet. Possibly from the mid-levels all the way up. So this storm is still rotating, which is why they have extended this severe thunderstorm warning or haven't allowed it to expire till 11:45, because we're so high up that beam could be missing a stronger part of the rotation.
Yeah,
of the storm.
you're not seeing what's happening below that. But also, let's do this. If you expand the view a little bit and look at the cloud tops, let's see
that's
how
right.
high these
Let me
are.
give you
We're
just
going to
a
look at some of the cloud tops here under radar, national data, national radar first, national. Cloud tops
There's
right here.
cloud tops.
Right here. Look right here, right there, Mountain City, right, this bright white, probably 40, 50,000 feet, I would have, right here, north of there. I'll try this right here, right into it. So they're still about 30,000 feet. So that's why. So we're looking at a 30,000 foot storm. We're looking slicing into it about 7,200 feet, 7,300 feet. So you're still seeing that broad circulation there aloft inside the storm. So, and again, that's from our vantage point looking through the storm. We're not down to the ground. So look at Mountain City camera again. We're just looking at some of the cloud tops here with that. And again, this is still a tornado warned storm.
Wow.
We do not have a cancellation of that yet. And look at this. You can hardly see anything now, Alex. The rain is so heavy here. Yeah, we're seeing some of the wind. It looks like bugs are flying there. We've got the bugs. I know a lot of people wonder what that is. That's probably not hail, but we got bugs and the very heavy rain. You know what's interesting? You could see some of the clouds moving by pretty quick, or some of the moisture anyway, on that particular camera, Alex. So there's some wind energy still with that. And again, you're looking at tornado warning here. That includes Sullivan, Carter, and Johnson County until 11:45. We're at 11:37 now. They're going to let this go to the state line. That's why they're going to keep this warning, because back to the radar map, you can see how close it is now to the state line. I'm going to step off this direction, and Alex is showing us a map right here. Let's pan out just a bit, get a broader.
That black line is the state
Yeah,
line.
we're looking at North Carolina right here. There's a complex of storms. Look at the rotation down to the south and west of this. Just south of Mountain City is where you're going to find that broad circulation of the storm. Look at that, Alex. It's still
wow,
going.
that's impressive.
It is very impressive from Mountain City. This is still our couplet.
7,700 feet in the atmosphere.
Yeah, how high is that?
7,700 feet.
Yeah, 7,700 feet. And you're looking here. Here is the state line, right here, North Carolina state line. If you're in Ashe, Watauga County, watch this storm. Even though you got a severe thunderstorm warning, there could still be that tornado threat as it makes its way over the border. Ashe and Watauga County got to be on the lookout for that. There is still quite a bit of broad rotation just south of Mountain City, golf course down through here, beautiful area. And again, we've got that broad circulation. We'll take the camera one more time. Look at that. There's some towns, the roads anyway. You can see that just outside of Mountain City going towards North Carolina. Broad circulation. Challenger seeing that now, Roan Creek Road. And let's look at our Mountain City camera here again, because this,
Wow.
it's incredible. I mean, it's heavy rainfall. We don't know if the wind's blowing. It looks like the wind's blowing the rain, doesn't it?
Oh,
it looks like it's
100%,
blowing
yeah.
heavily right there. And again, this is our Mountain City camera here. Love the camera. Thanks to the folks who put that camera up there in Mountain City, Johnson County. And we appreciate that. And it's working out for us greatly tonight, because we can actually see the rain coming down. You're seeing the wind here as well. And again, this tornado warning is still in effect for a few more minutes. This is in effect for Johnson, Carter, and Sullivan County until 11:45. Let's go back to the radar map, and we'll show you Mountain City once again. There's that circulation. It's very broad, Alex. And again, we want to show them which way that circulation goes. It's moving counterclockwise. So he's going to draw a picture here for you towards away. So you're seeing how the circulation's going this way here. It's rotating counterclockwise right over Mountain City. Mountain City's right here. right there. And then you go down towards North Carolina on 421 there. You can definitely see that as we are watching that circulation that's broad. You may be getting some gusty winds. We'd love to hear about it. If you're getting any severe weather in Johnson County, Mountain City, you can send us a picture, send us just a text with your email on it, pix@wjhl.com. And when we oftentimes talk about severe weather, weatherway, make sure you put your location down. A lot of people send pictures of lightning and pictures of trees down and never put a location. We got to have a location. We're going to send you a release form. You'll have to sign that and send it back to us so we can share that. But nonetheless, here's what we're looking at. There is that state line, North Carolina, that complex of storms all by itself, going to move over the border. Ashland, Watauga counties under the gun next. It's moving out of Mountain City. So look at our camera now. I bet the rain's dying down just a little bit because that's on the northern side as we look at that Mountain City camera. Still some very heavy rain down towards Heath and Walnut Grove, and again down towards Shounds, and not seeing the really tight coupling here. There it is right there. There's that broad circulation. Just amazing how long this has been holding together. Do we have the camera again, guys? Because here is a broad circulation moving out of Mountain City now on towards the east. There's a state line, North Carolina, Tennessee, and we're getting the camera up for you so you can see that. There it is. We're still watching the rain. Yeah, it looks like we're covering a hurricane or something because of wind and the rain right there in the Mountain City area. So I'm sure you're seeing quite a bit of wind there and the heavy, heavy rain. You can look at Alex's radar because we got the heavy rain. Let's look at 3 hours. Let's just do 1 hour total here on Johnson County, just so you can see the rain coming down here. And again, this right there looks like something right there. I don't know if that's lightning or hitting against the light there with the camera. Radar. We're going to look at the 1 hour rainfall totals here.
Half an inch.
And again, yeah, easily a half inch of rain to an inch coming down through your area. All right, that's what we're looking at. Mountain City, Johnson County. That tornado warning still in effect now for about 3 or 4 minutes. I don't see any signage from the Weather Service yet that they're going to let that just expire. The other thing we're concerned about is what's coming our way from the west, Alex. So this is that tornado warning storm. Here's another line of shower and thunderstorm
Look at the
activity.
heavy rain.
Yeah, this is ramping up here, too. You're going to find very, very heavy rain with this. We could do a 1 hour on this, too, rainfall, just showing what's coming into the Tri-Cities from Churchill to Rogersville. You see the green here. That's where rainfall totals are approaching an inch or more, and we're still picking up some locally heavy amounts of rain. That's the last hour. Do a 3 hour total, and you can definitely see this. Look at this heavy rain here. 3 hours. 3 hours here, over 2 inches there outside of Jefferson City. That's going to make its way towards Greene County. Greene County already had 1.5 inches earlier this morning on average. More coming your way. You see the heavy rain with the flood warnings here just outside of Hawkins County, Hancock County. And look at this. We're still seeing that threat for heavy rain, severe thunderstorm warning. Parts of Greene County, Cock County now. That's in effect for strong winds and hail and the potential for heavy rainfall. All right, we're at 11:42. Let's see if I'm not seeing anything on this tornado warning storm, but let's go back there one more time just to take one more look at that. They're going to expire the tornado warning. They just expired that. So here again, let's go back and look at this again. Tornado warning storm right here. We're going to be off the air here shortly. Let's go back, just look at reflectivity. There it is. Now let's look at storm relative. They're letting this expire. There's very, very weak rotation. You folks, North Carolina, severe thunderstorm warning now until 12:45. It does include a tornado tag with that. Just a heads up. This is going to move out of Johnson County. They've allowed that to expire. And now as we go home on this image, Alex, I just want to give you all a heads up. We've covered the tornado warning. We're going to go off the air. Here's your line of thunderstorms. Our next potential threat, maybe severe thunderstorms with damaging winds. We are not usually on the air for that. Along with that, we're going to find the possibility of localized flooding. So you got to watch for that. Greene County coming up into Hawkins County as well. So again, that's what we're looking at now, that severe thunderstorm warning. Laura, real quick, you got an update for us.
Just a quick update more towards the after effects of what we've seen with this storm. And Alex, if you can switch over real quick for me. Just taking a look at some of the power outages across the region. Let's start in Southwest Virginia. Washington County seeing about 100 customers without power tonight. And as we do take a look across Northeast Tennessee, we can also see 100 people without power across Hancock County, 200 folks without power across Hawkins County, 700 people without power tonight all across Sullivan County. And this isn't showing up on our graphic system quite yet, but we are getting reports of people without power across Boones Creek and Colonial Heights across Washington County. So that's what we're keeping a focus on right there. And Mark, I do want to just show one more time, we are getting a lot of viewer photos and have been sending out our consent forms like crazy. So if you do get a link back from from myself. Make sure you are filling that out so we can show that on the air. But a couple more of these photos and videos that we can see. This is from Jamie in Mount Carmel, and I love this video right here because actually towards the end of the video, you can see their anemometer really start to spin as the storm does start to roll through. But some beautiful lightning we can see there. Jacob Elkins from Gray in the Oak Grove area, you can see that lightning making it almost look like it's daytime. So absolutely gorgeous out there. Joshua also from Gray showing that lightning photo. You can see not only the rain shaft in that photo, but also a beautiful bolt of lightning in the background. And final one for the evening. I haven't gotten any more UGCs back, or if I did, I just haven't just checked. One more, and this is actually not from Jacob Elkins. This is just a brand new one that I just put in. This is from Shane Saylor, and we can see another beautiful bolt of lightning in the background, once again, from all of the lightning that we've seen this evening. But I do once again want to show the power outages across the region just before we do wrap up.
Right there, you can actually see something hanging from the cloud. If you go back and look at that, right in the middle of this, you can actually see, is that Jacob's?
This is Joshua, and
Yeah, go back to Jacob's again real quick.
this is Jacob Elkins once again here in the Oak Grove area.
No, you had a dark one, the last one. This right here, that wasn't it either, but one of those you had pretty good, something coming down from the sky there. This is it right here.
This is the one. So this
right
is
here.
one that I just got in.
here.
I believe this is by
See
Brandon
that, Alex?
Sailors.
I see it. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, there's definitely something. Let's go ahead and go to radar. Yeah, but that's something you have to watch out for. We'll have to click on because there's something hanging all the way to the ground right there. Jacob, if you were in the Gray area, that might have been when that was passing near the airport.
That is actually from Brandon Saylor. He sent, or Shane Saylor. He sent that photo in, and
And where was that at?
that's from Colonial Heights.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where we
That
had the
makes
tornado
sense.
warning. If you can run through that, see if you, I don't know if you can step through that, but that definitely looks like maybe a possible funnel cloud coming down to the ground right there. So, wrong name. We'll update that, but nonetheless, this is Colonial Heights. You can see that all the way down to the ground. That might have been Scud. Could have been something. I don't know if that's rotating because the lightning doesn't illuminate it enough, but that's something we got to go back
I
and
will
look
say
at.
a couple of those photos before that Laurel had, you could actually see the base of the thunderstorm that we were talking about.
Yeah,
That's
so-
in the lowering of that. So thank you so much for sending in your photos. You are our eyes.
Yeah, we
when are
appreciate
here.
that. Let's switch over real quick because I'm going to throw us off the air because tornado warning's over.
That is the correct name, by the way. Shane Saylor from Colonial Heights. My
All right,
apologies.
Shane, we appreciate that. If you could get us some still shots of that, we'd love it because there's definitely something hanging right there. And if that's over Colonial Heights, as when we had the tornado warning, we were watching that. Very tight couplet was on the radar. So we'll have to see if that actually produced any damage in the Colonial Heights area. Shane, thanks so much for that picture. Let's go back to your radar, Alex, real quick if we can. If you'll switch your button, Alex, we're going to look at the radar one more time. Tornado warnings have been expired. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is what we got coming over the Tri-Cities. Heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And watch out for localized flooding. That's going to do our live coverage now. We'll watch this line of thunderstorms. We'll keep the chance of thunderstorms overnight through tomorrow morning. Front moves through, drying out tomorrow afternoon. Looks great. For Laurel, Alex, myself, that's our storm coverage. Have a great night. Send us your reports, PIX at WJHL.com.